I made my way through the pack the first time. I think I was running like 5th or 4th maybe, first couple laps, and then one lap before we crossed one of the creeks, I just stuffed it into this berm and went right over the bars, landed in the mud. Hunter and Wyatt got around me. And then I think Wyatt ended up getting in a tree, having some issues, bending some stuff up. And then just that last lap, me and Hunter were rolling out. I felt like we were rolling pretty good. I had a line that, there was a couple lines I was trying to get around him. We came together on the MX track. I mean, I was trying everything, but I got around him on that line and just made no mistakes the rest of the lap and rode it home for the podium. Yeah, you can't beat a glass cheer wine.
It tastes better than that.
For sure. Thanks.
XC1 Pro ATV podium. Make some noise for your XC1 Pro podium one more time. The dog's woken up. He's coming for you. Make some noise for the Gator one more time. Let's see if he knows how to do it. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Champagne spraying out here at the Hoosier GNCC. That's what it's all about. Put your hands together for the XC2 Pro-Am ATV podium here from the Hoosier.
GNCC on RacerTV.com is back, and we are ready for a good one. Southeastern Ohio, Sunday Creek Raceway, the John Penton GNCC, the longest standing round on the schedule, been coming here for over 30 years, and the Bidwell Bullet, Ohio's own, from Bidwell, Ohio, just a stone's throw from here, looks to leave his mark here yet again in 2023. The man has been sensational at the John Penton GNCC. Is more of that magic in store for today, or will we see another winner? Will Hunter Hart return to the center of the box? Cole Richardson, he needs a good one. All that and more starts now on RacerTV.com.
GNCC Racing!
Good afternoon and welcome to round number 7 of the 2023 Grand National Cross Country Racing Series presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship. We are here in southeastern Ohio, Johnny's neck of the woods, at least the state. Johnny, this is the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. We're over the hump, Johnny. Halfway point this year with 12 rounds was round 6. Here we are in round 7. Things starting to turn back favorably for Bryson Neal.
Yeah, absolutely. In a favorable race environment for him over the last several years. You know, Bryson has had a lot of wins here at this facility since 2020. Really been on a roll here. Won by far the majority of the races that we have run here. And uniquely enough, I believe this is also the longest running GNCC on the schedule. So a lot of history here, and we're looking to make some more this weekend.
I mean, hey, if it's got John Penton's name on it, you know it is going to be historical, monumental, whatever cliche you want to use, it's going to be a good one. Well, obviously, Bryson Neal back to his winning ways at the Hoosier. First race where Hunter Hart didn't finish on the box. He had a 4th place. Bigger than that, though, Cole Richardson, I believe it was a 14.08 for him. You know both of those guys are going to come out swinging today.
Yeah, absolutely. And those guys have really been the measure of consistency here so far in 2023. And for both of those guys to be off the box, that was big news. Bryson Neal coming back after 2 off-kilter races, a lot of extenuating circumstances in both of those races, coming back with a commanding win there at the Hoosier just 2 weeks ago. We're back here today. We're ready to get it done. You know, Hunter Hart, we talked about it early in the season. Who's going to be the one to break the streak? Hunter Hart had the points lead coming into the last round, obviously, and just wasn't able, very close there, finishing in fourth, just off the podium, but just couldn't quite get the job done to get up there to battle with Bryson or even end up on the podium. Lost valuable points, gave up that points lead, so now he's back being the one chasing from behind again. Cole Richardson, as you mentioned, had some mechanicals, was in the pits for quite a lengthy pit stop, was able to claw his way back and gain some points, but nonetheless, a big points hit for him, so he needs to do big things here today if he wants to get himself back in this championship fight.
No doubt. Two names we didn't mention. John Glada Jr., another podium form, Johnny, and I talked to him after the last race. I said, we've watched you and Hunter battle all these years. Hunter, generally speaking, has gotten the best of John Glada in most situations. Wasn't the case at the Hoosier. I'm not saying it's a changing of the guard, but what I am saying is John Glada's for real now.
You know, I've kind of been flying that flag all year. John Glada's really just shown great speed, and I think I even made the comment during the broadcast 2 weeks ago that, you know, he just kind of needs to smooth out those mistakes. Did not anticipate him being the one to make the move on Hunter late in the race and wrestle that final podium position away. And there's another guy we didn't talk enough about yet so far.
The Gator, the old wily veteran, finishing with a second OA just a couple of weeks ago. And I got to say, and I know you can attest to this, Johnny, you're old like me, so I can say it. But listen, when a guy gets into the later years of his professional career and he has that success, be it a win, a podium, if you don't like that, you just don't like racing.
No, you know, and I don't know if this is how this will play out, but I'll just say right here on Racer TV, Adam McGill and I not exactly eye to eye on a lot of things. A lot of respect for him, but we definitely have not seen eye to eye. But big smile for me seeing him on the box, and not only that, seeing the way he did it. I mean, he came out firing right from the very beginning, was up there, and then I think a lot of people were like, okay, you know, the fade's going to come, but you can see by looking at him, he's been putting in the work. He's training like a monster. You know, he's changed his diet. He's taken a lot of that stuff that he was kind of known for, and pushed that aside and said, look, I'm in the later years of my career. I want to get the most of it, and I can empathize with that, and I love to see it. And Gator, you're making me a fan, baby. You're making me a fan.
What a strange time we are living in. Hey, you heard?
I appreciate hard work, and he's obviously putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Hey, you've heard from Johnny and I. You've gotten our perspective. We had a chance to catch up with one of our top guys in the XC1 prior to today's race.
Yeah, so we just come off of second place out at the Indiana GNCC. I call it Ironman 1, but the Hoosier. And, you know, coming off that podium, it was really good, man. It's been a long time coming this year, and I wouldn't say a long time, but we've definitely been working hard. We've been close, and we've been close multiple races, and finally be able to get it at that round was nice, even though it's, you know, not like Snowshoe or Ironman, but it still felt really good. And now we come into Ohio feeling just as good, right? And then as you can tell behind me, Gators do like to play in the swamp, and that's all I'll tell you. So we'll see you guys in 2 hours.
Well, certainly a highly anticipated race this weekend, Johnny. I know we're going to hear from more of those riders throughout today's race. Got to mention the XC2. Brandon Owens coming off his first win of the season. Stephen Harrell is human.
Yeah, after it took 6 rounds, but finally we saw a different winner in that XC2 class, and it was a great performance by Brandon. He was able to hold it till the end. He's kind of been having a problem closing him out. Speed hasn't been his issue, but this is more or less a home race for him. So expect to see big things. This is Wexer country. He's big in that series, and he runs, you know, all these tracks right around here pretty often. You know, he's going to have a lot of fans cheering him on. Lane McCormick with another podium, and you know Stephen Harrell is going to be firing back. I expect to see a lot of fireworks. A lot of other guys capable in that XC2 class. A lot of young talent. And they're going to be throwing blows tomorrow for sure.
They're hungry. We are just about ready now. But first, we want to throw it to Jared Bolton with a Yamaha track description.
Well, thanks, guys. Here we are at the John Penton GNCC, the longest running GNCC on the schedule. And that's for good reason. This is a true, somewhat old school. We'll call it old school. It still holds that old school mentality when you come here to the John Penton. Really awesome race course. Now, if you don't like slick Ohio clay, this isn't your favorite racetrack. But the Ohio guys that are good at that, they really love it because they're good at it. Naturally, they're going to love it. Guys from down south, like me, say, man, red clay's the slickest thing on the face of the planet. Well, let me tell you something. The first time I came here to the John Penton, it was slick and nasty, and I realized pretty quickly that the red clay that I grew up riding down south has nothing on this Ohio clay. So what I'm getting at is, when the rain falls here at the John Penton, this course becomes really slick, really tough, literally like riding on ice. But overall, there's a lot of places to move around, try to ride the edges, get out of that stuff. This course is a little bit on the tighter side, but there's still some wide open areas, some grass track, and you know what I'm going to say, a little something for everyone. And for the bike guys, we've got that infamous John Penton section out in the back. It's rugged, it's tight, it's single track all the way around. It adds on 3 miles this year, giving those bike guys a 14-mile course, long, grueling, tough weekend of racing. That's this weekend's track description. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jared Bolton, for that description of the Sunday Creek Raceway track here today. And we're going to be right back. We're going to let this guy go do some 10-second calls, and we're going to come back right after a word from our sponsors.
Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
Amsoil runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
I'm 7-time GNCC champion Walker Fowler, and I run GBC.
Like a bullet into the first turn, the number one with the pink helmet and pink bars. It is Walker Fowler, the 7th.
Fist pump. You should be proud of yourself, Devin Feehan. What a ride today.
I'm Devin Feehan, and I run GBC.
I'm Josh Merritt, and I run GBC.
I'm Chris Borch, and I run
GBC.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
ontrackschool.com. Check it out.
In the premier form of off-road motorcycle racing in the world, it's the beginning of a new era. 17 Supercross, 11 motocross, and those 3 playoff rounds.
Super Motocross World Championship Final. Tickets on sale now. Visit supermotocross.com.
30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Ropes are up. Gates down. Side by side we go. Jet Lawrence, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Winner from Chase Sexton. Can anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go.
Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day with Racer X.
all-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
Amsoil runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall, I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Check, check.
Check.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Tuning in with us on a bit of a hold. Here we are. It is round 7, the 2023 GNCC season underway, and this is the Wiseco Performance Products, John Penton, GNCC, and Jackson. As we can see, a little wet out here to start things off.
Yeah, a little would be downplaying it just a bit. It is very wet out there, and I can't lie, it's probably the stickiest mud. People are looking at me crazy when I'm saying that, but I can't express it enough. This is the stickiest mud I've ever ever personally been around.
Yeah, the conditions are very wild. We were able to get a look at the course yesterday. It was dry. It looked great. We were excited for what was to come, but we knew the rain was in store, and sure enough, it came. Everybody was telling us, man, the mud around here is just different. Something about it. It's a little thicker. It's a little stickier, and we saw exactly what they mean. So we're going to talk to you guys on a little bit of a weather delay right now, so we're going to run you through something we don't always get to do. I'm talking about the action, Jackson, you and I get to cover all day long in both the micro classes, the youth classes, as well as that AM race as well. But we got to talk about how different it is, what you guys are seeing on screen now compared to this morning. This morning, totally different ball game. The rain was falling, and it was, I think, even worse than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, that's debatable, but it was definitely raining hard all morning long. Things have really shaped up. Just to give you an idea, this morning when they first went out there, it rained all through the first micro race, rained all through the second micro race, and then when we got into the youth ATV race, the rain started to stop a little bit. That's when we started making some of this actual mud instead of that slop we were seeing with the rain, and now we have gotten to where the rain has completely stopped. They had the 4x4 pros out there, they had the WXC girls out there, and they have really shaped this track up into what it is now.
Yeah, without a doubt, Jackson, it's been interesting to watch the way the track has kind of changed, metamorphosized, if you will, from basically just honestly kind of running water going through the track. We and you were both picked up a shovel at one point. We're digging drainage ditches, just trying to be able to help riders get through the scoring area to what we're seeing right now, which is honestly, it's dry mud, if that makes sense for the viewers at home. It's just wet enough to where it will stick to almost anything, which in itself proves some challenges. We already know how heavy these ATVs are, but when this Ohio soil starts sticking to the bike, starts sticking to the riders, the goggles, the helmets, really starts weighing everything down, that can also have an effect on the riders. But Jackson, since we've got a few minutes, let's go through some of those micro riders we talked about today. We had a battle going all the way down to the final corner. Torque Tong and J.P. Pickens Jr. going at it all the way down to the line.
Yeah, J.P. Pickens Jr., he won not only in that micro race, but he also won in that amateur race later, the amateur youth race later on. So J.P. Pickens Jr., 2 wins today, and then Torque Tong was able to get it into second place. Torque has done very good this year, and then in that third spot we have Michael Stringfellow, and then Bryson Dickerson and Chad McCormick round out our top 5 there for the overall in that ATV micro race. Kaysen Jennings, Kaysen Nevin Devato, and Crew Carter are top 10 there in that micro ATV overall for the day. So shout out to all of them, man. It was such a good race. They really got around through there good. That was one thing we couldn't express enough. They didn't have a hard time with it. They got on around.
Yeah, no, they were actually able to make the most of the situations, especially those front runners. We talk about the racecraft that we see in the young riders here in GNCC, and these are the type of conditions where that really starts to show. So a great job there. Torque Tong, J.P. Pickens Jr., we've been talking about them all year long. Bryson Dickerson, another one worth mentioning as well, whether it's dry conditions or not. But to see them able to do that in the mud out here, really impressive. Only expecting big things from those riders to come. Now, let's talk about the next generation, okay? We've got the micro class there, several years away. When they get a little bit older, they're going to move up into the ATV youth class. Matter of fact, some of the same names you'll probably hear in this class we had in the micros, if not last year. Some of them even riding both classes still this year, but Bryce Pullen able to pull off the win.
Yeah, Bryce had a great day today. Bryce got the win. Andrew Smallwood on the number 6 machine, he was able to get that second place, and Grant Hunter rounded out our podium, and man, they were flying out there in the mud. One thing that I can tell all the viewers is when this race does start, it will be off to some good racing. This has been an action-packed day, especially, Zach, moving on to that 4x4 pro class. We saw 5th go to 1st, 1st go to 5th, multiple times in that order.
Well, we talk about the conditions as we now on screen getting a look at Bryson Neal, some of the other pros starting to scope out their lines as they get ready for opening ceremonies. But yeah, to your point, Jackson, absolutely. The 4x4 pro class, action-packed to say the least. Cody Collier up in the mix. Brandon Frazier up there as well. The WXC class, the Hurricane, Hannah Hunter in the mix. And then, of course, you've got, actually had several of some not new names, but newer names up there on the podium. podium by the time it was all said and done. But yeah, great action there all the way across that AM race, and really exciting stuff. Not only I feel like because of the conditions, but these athletes, they've been going back and forth so much. Hey, while we've got them up here, let's talk about the one that was able to grab the win in that 4x4 Pro class, the #1, Cody Collier. How you doing, man?
Great, guys. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. We've been talking, got a little bit of a rain delay. We're waiting to make sure everybody's off course before we send these pros out and about. But let's hear it from a first eye view. What's it like out there?
It is sloppy. It is deep. It is gnarly. There's some section you come to, it'll be an uphill, and there'll be 6 lines wide, and you'll see lines 10, 20 feet off the track in either direction, just people trying to get up hills. Like you guys are talking about that 1st through 5th battle in that 4x4 Pro class. It was a toss-up. We were all in the mix, and there was one time we were all 5 wide going up a hill. It was awesome racing out there, and I just was able to stay away from some of the mistakes and got out front and kept my 4-wheel drive alive today. This track's got a lot of big, hard G outs, big heavy hits, and on the 4-wheel drive you'll blow those out. And I was just able to avoid those and kept the 4-wheel drive alive and just kept digging.
Now you had kind of an interesting race. It was raining when you started. Kind of a little bit, just the last bit of it, and then it stopped. Did you feel like the track changed as far as how thick that mud got, drying out a little bit before it was all finished?
The track's getting better. The track got better every single lap. Without the lappers getting stuck in some of the lines, the track itself was getting better. So like it's drying out since there's no more rain. We're beating out. We've thrown off all the slop, and it's turning out nice for every lap. It's going to be nasty, but it should get better as the race goes on for these guys.
If it's anything like your race was, it'll be a real treat. I remember you came around in 1st. The next lap, we see you in 5th. We think something must have happened. And then the next lap, there you come back in the win, man. So hopefully we'll get to see some action like that out here in just a little while.
Yeah, I ended up taking the early pitted late lap 2.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I got the whole shot. I didn't get the whole shot. Robbie got the whole shot by I think a whole tire tread. He got the whole shot on me by lead going into the woods, and was able to put a good pace out front early, and I avoided all the mistakes and kept my goggles, my 4-wheel drive alive, and kept going.
Well, sounds like
yeah, it sounds like the start's going. Let's go to the race that's going on. Maybe we can sneak mine in later.
Neal riding to the line next, the #3 out of Newfield, New York, on a Maxxis Ithaca Recreation Sports-backed Yamaha, Hunter Hart. Riding to the line next, the #4 out of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, on an Action Off-Road GBC-backed Yamaha, the Coltrane Cole Richardson. Riding to the line next, the 521 out of Waverly, West by God, Virginia, on an Ober Tires and Moose Racing backed Honda, the Gator, Adam McGill. Riding to the line next, the 712 out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, aboard the Pierce Performance and Action Off-Road back Yamaha, John Glotta Jr. Riding to the line next, the #6 out of Acme, Pennsylvania, on an Action Off-Road and Pierce Performance backed Yamaha, Jay Shadron. Riding to the line next, the 621 out of Hillsboro, Ohio, on a JM Motorsports and GBC Tires backed Yamaha, a Rim Reaper, Wyatt Wilkin. Riding to the line next, the #9 out of Casca, Pennsylvania, on a Maxxis and Elka-backed Honda, the Cobra, Jared McClure. Riding to the line next, the #11 out of Akron, Ohio, on a B&R Motorsports and GBC Tires back Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Riding to the line next, the #14. He's got more wins under his belt than any other rider in GNCC history, on the Action Off-Road and GBC Tires back Yamaha, Chris Borich. Riding Coming to the line next, the 703 out of Petersburg, Indiana, on an action off-road and Maxxis tires backed Yamaha, Austin Abney. And last but certainly not least, the 714 out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on a bulletproof doors and B&R Motorsports backed Yamaha, Ronnie Rush. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your starting row for the XC1 Pro Class here at the Wiseco Performance Products John Penton GNCC. Round number 7 of the 2023 season has been a gnarly one, to say the least. We had some rain come in last night, slow and steady. The rain came down. It didn't let up until about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours ago, and it left us with a mess. This has been the rider versus the track. Who wants to embrace the misery and who wants it the most? That's what this is boiled down to. All right, it's reached that point where DJ Jorge Mixmaster Murphy jumps into the Yamaha, and we say, DJ Murphy, remove the meat. As DJ Jorge Mixmaster Murphy exits the starting line with the Monster Energy Activation Transport. All eyes now turn down to turn number 1, where the maestro himself, Mr. Ricky Towery, takes control of this race. And he will let the riders know that we go as he goes. Steps forward, he lets our riders know 1 minute until we are ready to go. Wiseco, John Penton, GNCC Racing. As Ricky Towery now goes through the motions, he'll look down at his watch. So methodical. And we go as he goes, and there the blue flag waves. Blue flag high in the sky. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. As we are just about ready to roll now here at the Wiseco John Penton GNCC. And I got to ask you, Southeastern Ohio, are you ready to go GNCC Racing? Oh, that's pretty good, but you guys have been out here for what seems like hours. You've waited forever for this moment. It has arrived. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go GNCC Racing? 10 seconds for row number 1, the XC1 Pro. Bang, and they're off. As the XC1 jockeys for position. Oh, how about it? The number 9, the Cobra, Jared McClure, with the early hole shot and early lead as we focus now on the XC2 class. Steve Harrell, Jeremy Ladon, Charles Dunn, Grayson Eller, Brandon Owens, Gabriel Nod in 10 seconds. Kenny Schick, Chase Allison, Lane McCormick, Albert Jadis, Dylan Walraven, Tanner Walker, and James Galata. Boy, this is a tight spot. If I don't fall, I'll be able to go. Bumping and grinding. Let's go, Lane McCormick, making a grown man move for the whole shot and the early lead. Here we go with row number 3. 10 seconds. Junior A 20 plus. Henry Moore 4, Colton Kushta, Dalton Keys, Riley Salick, William Wallace, Justin Miller, Alex Elioff. And that's going to be the 317 of Alex Elioff, almost on cue with the hole shot and early lead in the Junior A. Here we go, row number 4. Blue flag waves. We got them shut down. College A, 16-19. Keaton Henderson, 10 seconds. Briggs Lazelle, Parker Henderson, Alex Tiemann, Charlie Stewart, Seth Blake, Andre Williams, Christopher Howard, Connor Brandt, Trevor Furby, Elijah Edmondson, as well as Caden Lambruno, Tavin Cook, Dominic Stevens, Evan Osborne. Oh yeah, fist in the air. That's going to be the 4:23, grabbing the hole shot and the early lead right there. Senior A 40 plus coming up next. Brad Whitehead, Todd Muscala, Rick Marino, Derek Hart, James Green, Dirk DeSercy, 10 seconds. TJ Barrett, Brian Foltz, Zachary Phillips, Chris Conklin. Bang, and they're off. Around turn number 1, it is slicker than a mayonnaise sandwich. Here he comes. That's going to be the 030 of Brad Whitehead grabbing a hole shot and early lead there as we turn our attention now to the event A 30 plus. The 2:28 of Nick Davis, Christopher Kirby, David Machisco, and Jared Little in 10 seconds. Vet A 30 plus. The 2:28 of Nick Davidson with a good drive out in front. Gets a little sideways, but a good, clean hole shot right there. Junior B coming up next, 19 plus. Frankie Egris, Dylan Sand, Michael Worth, Rigdon Doran, 10 seconds. Connor Adar, Nathan Cox, Corey Zeck, Trace Furby, Clayton Kawasaki, Gavin Temple, Zachary DeNoble, Josh DeNoble, Tavis Dudley. Woo, big one. Caleb Adar. Oh, how about that for the holy? And the early lead right there. Slip sliding into the lead, baby. Oh, you guys make it a joy to work here. College B, 16-18. William Whitty, James Berger, Caden Bulliard, Bryson Bellamy, Isaac Hart, Alex Goss. 10 seconds. Hayden Hunter, Tate Long, David Witt, Andrew Adams, Ryan Hendershot, Caden Scott. We've also got Denton White, Jack Neely, Nick Daring, Nick Foreman, Adam Safel, Aiden Jones. That's going to be the 4:20 of Denton White. Out of Manchester, Ohio on that Young Cycle Works and LS4 back ride, grabbing the whole shot and early lead there. And here we go, Senior B, 40 plus. 10 seconds. Shane Worth, Scott Gross, Ricky Lewis, Jason Lemley, Travis Fleming, Bobby McCauley, as was Greg Phillips and Mike Horwath and Luke DeSercy. Woo, going wide around the first turn. But the tires are hooking up well. That's the 357 of Ricky Lewis on a B&R and LS4 and Leon Rice Construction back ride. Grabbing that whole shot and early lead. Here we go with a Vet B 30 plus. Taylor Griffith, David Kite, Chris Carson, Kevin Simmons, Travis Raphael, Ken Bauer, Tyler Miller, Daniel Norman in 10 seconds. Matthew Hartwell, John Higgins, and Robert Henson. Here we go, trying to get him a whole shot. That's going to be the 819 of John Higgins on a Red Bear Racing and Waynesburg Yamaha back Yamaha. out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. And with that, our last row is off the line. It was a late start for us. Let's call it what it is, a late afternoon, early evening race here. It is going to be gnarly. Stick around. We're going to take a short commercial break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more from the Weisco John Penton GNCC.
All-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the 2023 Wiseco Performance Products John Penton GNCC. We are playing in the Ohio mud for round number 7 of the Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. My name is Jackson Burl and I'm alongside Zach Heron and Cody Collier. We will also be accompanied by Johnny Gallagher and Mikey Waynes later in the show. For now, let's turn it over to Zach to recap the start.
Well, we're going to look at the start in just a second. We're getting a look at what the conditions have been like so far today here at round 7. The rain came. We knew it was coming. And now it's stopped raining. As we take a look at this Specialized start recap, it's going to be interesting to watch how this track develops throughout this race. Like I said, the sun is out. Beautiful start. But as you can see by the wall of mud flying afterwards, the conditions are still wet. And coming into the first turn, there was bar banging, but it was going to be the number 9, Jared McClure, grabbing the whole shot. Looked like Borch and Merritt there, second and third. And you see your XC1 all able to keep it tight there in that second corner. Oh, a couple riders coming together. We did not catch that the first time. Wasn't sure who that was that went down.
Ronnie Rush in second.
Okay, Rush there in second. Now we take a look at the XC2 replay. Wow, so that one XC1 rider coming completely off the quad there. Bar banging here in this as well. Going into the first turn, Lane McCormick making grown man moves, as Mikey Waynes likes to say. And then, like we talk about, there's a lot of position shuffling between turns 2, 3, and 4, getting ready to go into the woods. Cody telling me that he believed that was James Glauda, their second, going into the woods as well. That's your Specialized start recap, and I hope you guys enjoyed that because that's the cleanest those riders are going to be the rest of this race. We take a look at the Yamaha Racing track map. The conditions, whether you're in the woods, in the field, they're going to be a little wet. We're going to be on the lookout there on that Monster Mile, the Method Alley race wheels section as well. But Cody Collier in here with the booth with us. You just came off the 4x4 Pro win. You're probably the best to speak. What's this course like?
It's tricky. It's tricky. There's several spots out there that are totally rutted out and just got to tiptoe through. We talked about it while we were on break. A few riders running bigger tires, I thought. I thought McClure and Borch and a couple other guys were running the tall tires today to stay out of those ruts. So, yeah, it's nasty. It's slick. Some sections it's off camber, and you're just fighting for traction and just trying to get the drive up the next hill.
Yeah, and now you did say when you came in though, you thought this track was going to start drying out more and more. The sun did pop out and start shining. So, what do you think the conditions will be like by the midway or the ending of this race? Do you think traction will be a little bit better?
I think by the last lap there will be improvement, but I think it's just going to be slick the first few laps. Going to be fighting right in that cushion, just trying to find some traction.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out for sure. This Yamaha track map giving you guys an idea just what this GNCC crew is capable of. You know, you give them a piece of land and they create this masterpiece wherever it is. We're in the beautiful hills of Ohio right now. We were in Indiana just a couple of weeks ago. But really exciting to see how this course races. Jackson, it's been exciting all morning. We were talking earlier on the broadcast. The micro class, fantastic. The youth class, great. And then that AM race, like we were just talking to Cody about, just as much as exciting in the 4x4 Pro, the WXC class as well. So I'm only expecting the same here in the Pro class.
I can only expect the same here too, and I'm not used to this Ohio mud, so it is really shaping up as the day goes on. It started out just as a watery substance pretty much. Now it's that sticky mud, and just when I walked out a minute ago, it's already starting to dry up a lot more than I thought it would, getting to be flaky and hard mud. So
it's got a clay base here, so it's a very sticky hard mud once it starts to tack up.
It's going to be exciting for sure, especially coming off of the results that we had just a couple of weeks ago. And we got to bring him up. The Gator getting on the box. Everybody was super excited to see it. The fans, the spectators, even Bryson Neal celebrating up there, giving a big shout out. But we got a great interview going with the Gator himself that I think we've got for you guys right now.
So, I give my race reports after the race, 9 o'clock. Every Saturday going home. So if you guys want to tune in, make sure you tune into my Facebook. And being able to mirror what Bryson did 3/4 of the race before I started getting a little pumped up. That's, my thumb starts slipping off the throttle, things like that. It was humbling again, because I remember when I was that age running away from the old guys, right? Or the younger guys. And it's wild to think that being 35, being one of the older, well, the second oldest dude that's racing right now, XC1, and being able to run with the champion now and keep him honest 3/4 of the race. It's very humbling, and it's very reassuring to know that I'm not done yet. And not being done has definitely been a big confidence boost for me to be able to build on the program, and it's kept me hungry to want to train, to want to ride, to want to eat better, to want to stay in this, right? Because I know when we're down, and it's hard. But man, we're on an uprise right now, and you better look out because we're going to play in the mud, baby.
Oh, man, the Gator going to get a death roll on these guys. I'm telling you what, Cody and I were just talking even during that interview, with that kind of confidence and that kind of mindset, and you said McGill, he's no slouch here at the John Penton. We could have a very dangerous Gator this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't see where he ended up on the start, but Gator's always a threat, and with this new renaissance of Adam McGill, it's cool to see where he stacks up today.
Let's see what we have going on screen here.
They're all brown. I can't tell who's who.
It is hard to tell.
I can't tell who's who.
Taking a look at this Yamaha live drone right now, and you can see how hard it is to grab traction.
So it's McLaren second and 2 Yamahas.
Is that Merritt in first?
Yeah, I think it is.
I believe that's Josh Merritt leading the way.
And Cole Richardson in third is what I'm seeing on screen.
I do believe that is Cole Richardson in third by the gear.
So you see them creeping in and out. They were peeking into the pits there, coming actually right up the hill by us in the TV truck, and then they dip back off to the backside of the property there. And we did not see 4th place on screen there, so it looked like that top 3, just based off of that shot, has kind of separated themselves a little bit.
We didn't get to see very far behind. It was only like a second or 2 here and there, but yeah, they got a little bit of room to work with.
Absolutely, yeah. It'd be exciting to see how that shakes out. And like we said, we're going to try to tell you who it is. They all look very similar right now, as everybody getting a little bit of that Ohio mud thrown on them right now. But we do believe that was Josh Merritt leading the way. It was McClure grabbing the early lead, and now they're going to be getting ready to come through the scoring area, really high-speed area coming up to this section right here.
Yeah, it's got an interesting little chicane right here, and you're 4th, 5th tap coming around that bend, and just got to check up for this little chicane here.
Yeah, no, we were watching. Even I walked over there during your race, Cody, and it's same thing. You guys wide open and then hard on the brakes. I'm assuming obviously the point of that chicane there, similar to what we saw right there through the mechanics area, I believe 2 weeks ago, had a wide open section and then a little chicane as well. But waiting on your leaders right now. Last we thought it was the number 11 of Josh Merritt. Taking another look at the Yamaha live drone.
Might get little peeks of them here and there, but that coverage coming in. Spring is here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, getting a great look at the greenery here, and there's your top 3. Now getting a little better look behind them. It does look like it's a couple of seconds at least, as we continue to wait to see 4th place pop into the picture, and your top 3 dive back off into the woods. It was a great shot of him, but still no closer to having any idea whether or not we're...
I believe I just saw him enter the woods then.
Yeah, I think that was the gap right there. I think it's about 20 seconds, the back to 4th.
So we'll try to get a look here.
Already breaking away. That's kind of what we saw in some of the earlier races. A few guys could stay right there together, and then if anything happens, somebody just leads the way.
Well, and let me get your opinion on this, Cody. It seems like in extreme conditions, I guess you would say, like this, the gap from the fastest rider to the slowest rider is oftentimes greater. So sometimes the lappers having significantly more issues with certain obstacles and stuff like that than your leaders. Did you find that to be true in this situation where you were coming up on lappers really fast, and they're on a whole different speed level as far as their ability to get through stuff?
Yeah, so I think like the back markers of your class or whatever are going to have more issues. The people that have issues are really far behind, but I think the pace overall is actually a little bit closer. Like between your front runners and your mid pack guys, I think the pace is a little bit closer, but there are other guys that have the mishaps, and that's what makes these races so extreme.
Yeah, definitely seems like the mistakes can be more costly in these situations. Several times we even saw some riders locking the brakes up. They go sliding off. They're not that far off track, but they get in the thick mud. They get the wheels caked up, and then all of a sudden the problem where they lose the time is trying to get the quad out and get back going.
Yeah, it's like right here in the outside of this corner, it's really thick. It'll on those sport quads, if you catch your front tire in that, it'll turn you sideways where your right tire is still trying to go forward, and it'll throw you sideways and catch you off guard real quick.
Absolutely, yeah. We even saw it right there in that XC1 hole shot replay. One rider getting a little sideways, coming together with another. And I couldn't tell if he completely dismounted the ATV or not, but they were pretty close to it. As we are waiting on your leaders right now, it should be popping around. We believe it is the number 11 of Josh Merritt. It was Jared McClure grabbing the whole shot there. And you said Ronnie was up there as well, Cody. You spotted him out?
Yeah, Ronnie got second on the start, second going into the woods. Swung that outside and just kept a good drive.
Yeah, definitely looks like if you're able to keep your momentum up, not get too far out in the thick stuff, but able to keep your momentum flowing around this track, not really starting and stopping a lot, it's going to pay off big time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about momentum and traction today. Keeping that traction, keeping that momentum. If you get a bad drive up a hill and don't get enough traction, you're just going to lose time.
Without a doubt. Now, Jackson, let's take a look at the big picture. Here we are, round 7. But the point situation, we've had some chaos in the last couple of rounds, but it kind of seemed like, at least for the number 1 of Bryson Neal, it was back to business at round 6. But this is still a very close points battle here in this XC1 ATV class.
Yeah, only 6 points separating Bryson Neal and Hunter Hart there, with Bryson Neal being the points leader going into this round. And if that is the top 3 that y'all think it is, my first question is going to be, where is our points leader Bryson Neal?
Absolutely, yeah. And talking about the points as well, we mentioned in kind of our pre-weekend race report that we do here at the track, Cole Richardson, now is the time. He's got to respond, having some bad results. Well, not bad results, but obviously not the results Cole was hoping for. I think he's really going to try to take advantage of this good start and push hard to finish at the front here at round 7, as now we're getting a look at your leaders.
It looks like they're in the same spots.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody has flip-flopped. If anything, they've spaced out.
They're just trying to stay out of the roost zone mostly. It's you got to keep your goggles going. You lose your goggles on this track, get stuff in your eyes like I do right now. It makes it for a long day.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. That was one thing. I think at one point I had 5 different goggles on my arm that I had picked up just from around the scoring area. Talk about how much that comes into consideration. Obviously, you want to try to make a pass. You want to be in front, but this is a long race.
And it is the Josh Merritt.
There we go.
Josh Merritt there in the lead. So awesome ride from him. He was 3rd going into the woods. So able to capitalize, make a good line or 2, and get in the lead.
They're coming through the scoring area here, so we'll be able to get a look at them. It is Josh Merritt leading the way.
Jared McClure
in 2nd. And it is Richardson there in 3rd place. So there is your top 3 right now. Only a couple of seconds separating them, and it looks like 4th place starting to creep in with 5th.
And Jay Shad.
Boom, look at that, 4th and 5th. They're wheel to wheel.
And that looks like the Gator there and Wyatt Wilkin. Having another battle this weekend.
Where is Hunter Hart? Where is
John
Bryson
Lauda.
Neal? There's Neal.
There's Neal. That's looks like Abney. Actually, 2 rider there. I think that's Bowens.
Wow. So
Bowens or Harrell.
Hunter Hart showing in a 13th place position. John Glada sitting in the 10th place spot.
Steve Harrell leaving the overall. Yeah, that was Harrell.
Wow. Yeah. Now the YXC2 rider jumps to the top of the overall board.
Check it again. There's another XC2 rider who's going to be up there in the overall mix. Lane McCormick up in 5th overall right now.
Top 5.
So yeah, it's Stephen Harrell leading the way. The overall, that physically probably 10th or so, past 1 or 2 XC riders so far. That's what I'm saying about this pace being so much closer in the sticky conditions. There's people that don't have issues, but then Josh Merritt leading the XC1 class in 2nd overall. Jared McClure 3rd overall, 2nd in the XC2 class. Cole Richardson 3rd in the XC1. Lane McCormick 2nd XC2, 5th overall.
James Glada now jumping in the top 10. He's sitting in the 8th place spot overall timing.
Yeah, Ronnie Rush 4th in XC1, 6th overall, and these XC2 guys really putting the pace down today.
Without a doubt, and we've seen it all year long. Steve Harrell there on the Yamaha, really looking good, and so I'm not surprised to see him up at the top of the board. But yeah, really big opportunity here, leading the way overall right now. Now we jump back into just the specific classes. You want to look at the top 10. So Bryson Neal on that final spot in the top 10 at the moment, with Hunter Hart sitting 12th in class right now. Both of them, as we're going to look at one rider, looks like in the pits there.
Try and get some eyesight. Probably took too much roost to the eyes here on the first lap. You can't win the race on the first lap. You can certainly lose it.
I'm hearing
I think that's big bad Brad Whitehead there from the Vet A class.
Okay.
Took too much roost here trying to pick through the that rows in front of him after getting that whole shot.
You could see just the mud caked on his face, and that's a tricky spot because even though you do have pit stops and you're able to get goggles again, you've already got so much mud and solid, basically slop on your face.
And once you put the goggles on, you got that slop on your face, it starts to break off of your face, bounce around on the inside of your goggles, get in your eyes, and you got a whole nother issue to deal with. So Brad taking the time there to try to scrape that mud off and avoid that.
Yeah, a little bit of foresight there, long-sightedness. Take the time, do it right, and got those goggles back on. So
yeah, I did it today myself at my pit today.
Absolutely,
I got my second set.
Yeah, and talk about how difficult that is too. You know, when you look at, we talk about how much the heart rate spikes during a crash or something like that. But during one of these pit stops, was one rider going way off Whitey.
Can't get the front end down. You use a little front brake there, bub.
He had the bars turned, but she wasn't turning. And but no, you come into the pits, you know you've got stuff that you got to do, but you're in a hurry. But you got to say, hey, take a breath. We got to wipe my face off. We got to do this right. Do you find that difficult to do?
I don't. I've done it the wrong way too many times. So it's just finding that balance and sticking with your gut and what you think it was today. I thought it was a survival race. Like I said, sticking with that four-wheel drive, keeping the goggles clean, and came out with the win.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely going to be tricky and a little game of who can make. Oh,
look at that!
I like that little
beautiful pass, little look back.
Oh, that was great right there. A little bit of bar banging coming through, throwing it slideways, and you're really starting to see that shiny, hard-packed base in this shot right here. Look at that rider almost doing a full 360.
And in the pole.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Guys, I would like to talk about the XC1 for a second. So I believe that is the first time he has led a race all year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this year. He's read some laps in the past, but this year that's the first lap sled.
Yeah, I believe that is the first time for sure. Merritt has been up front. Let's see where he's sitting. He's sitting at 10th overall in points for the year. His best finish so far is at 5th. That was at round 1. The best finish besides the 5th has been a 9th, and he has gotten 3 of those.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see. I want to say Merritt was up front on one of the starts early as well. And so no stranger to the front of the field. Like we said, this is just talking about 2023 right now. But Merritt, no stranger to the front of the field, and he's showing it right now as the number 11 trying to take care of business. But he's got Jared McClure behind him, and then, of course, the Coltrane. Like we said, I think he's hungry. I think he's got something to prove, and he's coming out swinging here.
And this is a big shift than what we see normally up there in that front of the XC1. Our two top guys in the points sitting in 10th and 12th right now. So a big shakeup. It could be anybody's game today.
Well, and I mean, you look at that. Like, let's take our podium just from last weekend. I'm sorry, McGill sitting in 9th place spot. You've got Glauda, another one that we frequently see on the podium. He's in 8th.
That's actually James Glauda.
You're 100% right. Yes, I completely forgot about that, Cody. So
running 3rd in XC2 and 8th overall.
How about that? You called that early off the start, too. James Glauda getting a good start and making the most of it right now. John Glauda Jr. is sitting at 9th in the XC1 class right now. Watching some of those riders able to pull the front wheel up a little bit. Sorry, Jackson, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this really opens a door here for Cole Richardson. This could be his race. We've been talking about it. We talked amongst ourselves with Mikey about how if he was going to get in it, this was the time. This is the race. It's round number 7. He needs to exert himself in there if he is going to be able to do so in this season, and this is the perfect way to do it right here.
Yeah, 100% correct there, Jackson. And I know Richardson, the question has been who can try to make the least amount of mistakes. It's a long season. We're just over the halfway point. Richardson, though, has already had some races that I don't think he's I'm not going to say he's not proud of them, but coming off that 14th at round 6, that's not a good weekend. There's no other way to say it. And so it's not about what happens, it's about how you respond, right? Did knock down 7, stand up 8. Cole Richardson trying to do that right now. Came out swinging off the start, and at the moment he's still fighting for a podium spot. And I think, Cody, to your point you said earlier, I think right now they're kind of just maintaining, trying to stay out of the roost zone, and then we're really going to start seeing the slicing and dicing and passing here a little bit later.
I think that they're going to wait until the last lap to try to make anything happen with the amount of roost that they're getting. They're going to keep out of that roost zone, hope for a mistake, and maybe if they figure out a line that they got that the other one don't know about, slingshot that. But that you're going to try to stay out of the roost zone the best you can.
Now, third time you've said roost zone. What's the parameter for that? How do you, as a rider, try to say, you know, you got a specific footage, or is it just like until I stop getting smacked in the face with the roost?
You figure it out. The more you race, the more you'll get hit in that roost zone. You'll figure out where the limits are. You know, uphills you're going to throw further because they're on the gas more. Slower sections where it's kind of more of a bob and weave. You can get a little bit closer, but then you'll come out of the bob and weave section and you'll see them get on it, and you'll know to check up leaving that section and not get hit. In a race like today, with how thick this mud is, it's gonna pack onto your film. Whenever you pull your roll-offs, it's gonna pack up that side way quicker than you think. So you got way less tear off than on a roll-off than on a dry day.
Interesting. Well, that's I think it's just part of the racecraft, the experience, the wisdom that comes with doing this for as long as you have, knowing exactly what to do there. But it looks like that was the number 11 still leading the way.
These are lap riders. This is like a B class.
Got you. Okay, perfect. And then Harrell still leading the way overall. As we wait for our leaders, we're going to go ahead and get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the John Penton GNCC.
All-new Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees and you're doing 230s and going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
All right, guys, we are back here at the Wiseco John Penton GNCC, and it is a muddy one, as you saw and as you are seeing. But we are off and rolling, Zach, and we are having a good time in the mud. As you can see them, that's Siegel right there getting his bike from the podium. He was up on it today.
He's going to have to call somebody to get his golf cart before long.
I hope he sees this. He'll love this.
Absolutely, yeah. Getting a little bit of shine there. No, this is awesome.
That's how it's been all day.
And well, not now. Thankfully, if you're concerned right now, if you're just tuning in, this is a live shot. The sun is shining. The rain has stopped, but the mud is still here, and we're still racing.
That looks a little deceiving down there in the front below that Michelin sign there. It looks like it might just be a little cloud dirt. It is definitely not. There you go. That's the kind of shot. And look, we got a bottleneck right here.
Again.
Yeah, this particular section, multiple times throughout the day, we've seen bottlenecks right there.
Gave me a heart attack.
And that's what Cody has talked about the whole time since his race, is that there has been bottlenecks all over the course, and I'm sure that's going to play a big factor into these guys' races as well.
Yeah, we talk about the creativity or the ingenuity that these riders have to try to find new lines, and in the right amount of time, within the right amount of space, and everything like that. It's a lot to think about at one time, Cody.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much happening. You're trying to carry pace and look way far ahead, and you're trying to it's hard to focus on more than one line when you're running that pace. So but with the mud, it's definitely slowed down the pace with fighting for traction and everything. So this is a smart man's race today.
Absolutely. And talking about lines, it seems like some sections, rather one line, kind of single track, that's the spot to go to. And then other lines, oftentimes where those bottlenecks had been previously, you're finding 4 or 5 different lines to be able to get through there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, where one guy stuck, the one line developed, and then eventually that line someone got stuck, and then there's 3 and 4 guys stuck side by side on some sections. So learn how these guys are not the C riders. They're going to be able to wheel tap through some stuff as the race develops. The B riders will get stuck. This stuff will get so deep in some of the A riders, so it will get tricky for these guys.
Without a doubt, and hanging out waiting on your leaders to come through. The last time around, if you're looking at on screen right now, it is Steve Harrell who's leading the overall timing. He's in that XC2 class, but it's the number 11 of Josh Merritt leading the way. Last we saw, and a very impressive performance here from Harrell.
Absolutely. Yeah, you see it some here and there in some mud races in the past where an XC2 rider will catch up and lead the first lap or two. I did it once at Snowshoe. I led the first 2 laps from the overall and from Snowshoe. So it happens here and there when it's not nasty enough.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out throughout the duration of this entire race, but at least for the moment, it's the XC2 rider leading the way, and that's the XC2 points leader as well. Stephen Harrell, not going to do the perfect season.
5 out of 6 so
far. Not upset about it.
5 out of 6 is pretty impressive. That's nothing to be upset with.
And I asked him 2 weeks ago on the podium, and he was like, honestly, I'm kind of glad for people to stop talking about it. I can just focus on what I'm doing. And like we said, the number 1 plate at the end of the year is the same regardless. So Steve focusing on what he's got to do, and he's doing it right now out front leading the way.
That was about the only pressure he had all year, was people chirping in his ear, perfect season. And it looks like we've got McClure here in the pits. No clue what position we're in. There's a rider behind him, an XC1 taking a pit. Looks like a lap rider in front of him. Looks like Merritt back to second. I'm guessing this is first and second. I do not know. Looks like McClure got the lead, had the lead coming into pits. Merritt had a really long pit. Not sure either way. McClure and Merritt, I think, are 1 and 2 with a big gap behind them.
Yeah, we had a close look there at McClure in the pits. I wasn't sure whether Merritt was already pitted or what, but they go tearing off the hill. It looked like Cole was also in that.
No Cole.
We didn't see Cole. Okay.
This is a Ronnie Rush up to I believe 3rd, unless we missed the leader. Like the first rider we seen was McClure. We were assuming that's first.
This is true.
So, and then Adam McGill there. So I'm guessing this is 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
Either Richardson went down several spots, or he is the leader on the track right now.
That's what I'm guessing as well.
So at the moment, what we're thinking is Cole Richardson's.
There's Hunter Hart.
Way. It looks like
absolutely. Hart. Picking his way through the track.
Yep.
Pack.
Track and pack. I feel like out here both, you kind of got to tiptoe through, and it's one of those things where if you start focusing on the other racers, the track will reach up and grab you.
Absolutely, yeah, eyes forward on this one. Just focus on what you're doing, and it looked like that's Lane McCormick here. This is actually 2 leader unless we know where they're zoomed in on the pits. We missed someone, but it looked like Wyatt Wilkin went through right before him, and looks like Lane McCormick is our leader in XC2 from what I could see.
Yeah, not sure. Going to have to try to wait until they come through the scoring officially to see exactly what position everybody has moved their way around to. But yeah, I completely agree. There's Glauda.
Glauda and Abney.
And I believe Abney was outside the top 10 the last time we looked at the XC1 class. So looks like Abney's making some moves, or
last rider here.
Yep, possibly some issues for John Glauda as well. And look at how hard packed that base is right there. Real shiny like, completely different from what we saw this morning. It's now really starting to pack in and absolutely crazy
No
slick.
plastics or seat on that guy. He's having a rough day.
Oh,
it's going to be a long one for him.
Legs
Got
will
too
be
heavy.
Burning for sure.
Yeah,
Look
here's
at
the back markers. Yeah, it's super slick where it's polished and there's no. It looks like there's no dirt because there's no dirt. It's all been pushed off to the side, and the clay has started to pack in where you just have one edge to run against.
And what is so funny is you look 6 inches off from that packed in dirt, and it is thick muck that will stop you in your tracks.
Oh, absolutely. God forbid.
Oh, we lost you there.
Case in point. Yeah, God forbid you blow one of these corners and get your outside tires in that slop. It's going to pull you sideways, and you're going to lose 5-10 seconds if you can't get out of there clean.
Yeah, and it'll reach up and grab your crock too, as we just saw. Keep those things in 4-wheel drive. Taking a look at the Monster Energy Monster Mile right now, as we're crock rocking and we are waiting to see who is out front. We think it's Cole Richardson leading the way.
I don't think so. I don't think we saw him. I think we missed him. I think he's back.
Oh, so you think he's
so
okay?
He's either leading, but I think he's back.
All right, so now we're getting some opinions. Now we're waiting to see.
Yeah.
Now we want to find out.
Got a little drama going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Cole is out. Is my guess. I don't think we missed him.
It's hard to say, and I saw somebody pull right into the pits as soon as we were leaving that view, and it kind of looked similar to him. I don't think it was him, but it very well could be.
I believe Richardson was wearing kind of lighter colored gear too, so yeah. I'm sure once the mud gets on it, it's pretty much that color.
You start having to go kind of off the camel packs and off the straps from their chest protectors and whatnot.
Cody rocking the helmet fin. I appreciated that. That's the way I can tell. I'm a helmet fan.
And the down visor.
Well,
and the down visor.
That was this weekend only, but yeah, it was definitely
one-time thing.
A little bit of style, yeah.
Just like Cody was telling us, the mud's so sticky here that it is flying up onto the trees. Even on our scoring tent down there, I've never saw mud stick like that inside underneath this tent. It was inches thick. You were scraping it off with a shovel, Zach. So it's sticking up onto the trees, and Cody was saying he was having to watch the tree limbs as they're starting to dangle down with all the mud packed on them. When we were in that other shot, I saw it dripping off the trees into the water.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, if you've ever watched the YouTube videos where the guy makes the house with mud, he's using Ohio clay because that stuff could hold. Jackson was picking up the rug on his shoe because it was so sticky out here. As now we're getting a look at, I believe that's your leaders cutting through the trees there.
I think I seen Josh Merritt. I don't know who else I seen.
As we're getting a look, crazy to see how shiny that soil is now.
That shiny is polished. No traction where it's shiny. So you're going to see these guys bouncing off the edge, maybe cutting to an inside, trying to cut a corner here and there, but mostly just riding the berm.
There's Merritt, I do believe.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Yeah, I believe that's the 11 there on the back.
I did see a wheel in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jones going too fast.
Let's see. Yeah, so looks like possibly 2 riders in front. That might be your leader there at the top, or kind of the center of your screen.
J-Shad. That is J-Shad.
That's J-Shad
with the headlights.
Okay.
McClure. Merritt.
And Merritt. So Cody calling it right. That was not Richardson out front.
I totally missed J-Shad too. I missed that. So right on the Cole train, wrong on the J-Shad.
Shadron was 5th the last time they came through scoring there, so he's on the move.
Jay Shadron on the move.
They were super zoomed in on the McClure and Merritt pit, so just missed that.
So Richardson must have dropped out as Jay Shadron gets on up into the lead. That's I don't know if we saw Jay leading much this season either. So a lot of different guys getting up here into the mix at this mud race. It's really shooking things up. I'm very surprised by this.
Yeah, and what I'm interested to see is how much movement we're going to see in the back of the pack between the number 1 and then, of course, the number 3 as well, because those guys not in a position they're used to being in. So we'll see whether or not they're able to pick through passing, maybe not quite as easy as they find in some of the other rounds.
And our results today in the other class, in the other races, I should say, have been mixed up, but it's still been our front runners, our top 3, top 5, that were still in the top 5, maybe a little mixed up from what they've been in the rest of the season, but we have a whole different pack. And what do we have on screen here?
FMF PowerPoint. A nasty little hill climb going uphill. It's pretty difficult when it's dry.
Well,
was that Josh?
Of it right now. That was Merritt that just went through there.
Yeah, it looks like it got a nice little gap back to 4th.
As now checking in, it does look like it's Adam McGill showing in the 4th place spot. Hunter Hart up to 5th. So wow, Hunter Hart coming from all the way outside the top 10 the last time we saw to now that 5th place position. And it does look like he would have to work his way around the number 1 to do that. Now Wyatt Wilkin checking in the 6th place spot. So a great ride for him as we wait to see who comes through next. Taking a look at your Yamaha live drone there, kind of getting glimpses as they peek through. Now Wyatt Wilkin, John Glotta Jr. there in the 8th place spot. Austin Abney sitting in 9th. Lane McCormick now leading the way in the XC2 class, jumps up into the 5th place overall spot. Looks like still waiting on Steve Harrell to check in there. So some shakeups there, and let's talk about the number 3. How about Hunter Hart working his way?
Very impressive going from.
What are we seeing here? Looks like one rider off track there.
Failed uphill attempt. He had to come back down and turn around.
Now,
Take 2.
That's got to be a tough decision to make. You're going to have to completely turn around, head all the way back down.
And there's a Junior and Abney on screen there, battling for that 8th place position.
So now, looking at overall timing, James Glotta rounding out the top 10. We're going to go down and look at just
second in XC2?
XC1 class. I do believe so. I'm going to try to see whether or not.
2 Glottas on top 10 overall.
How about that? Absolutely. Yeah, McCormick now. James Glotta showing in the 2nd place spot. Dylan Walraven 3rd. Grayson Ellen 4th. What has happened to the number 12, Steve Harrell, falling off the box now?
Mechanical buried it. Pace is a little slow for someone I would think to get hurt out there today, so not really too worried about that. It's probably just a mechanical or buried it.
Yes, we've seen that so many times. They put it off in the thick stuff, and it takes forever to get it out. So Jackson, we're taking a look here at the XC1. What's going on with the Bidwell Bullet?
That's what I was just about to ask. I'll be the first to say it. If he doesn't do something soon, I see it hard for him to leave here today with this points lead.
Bryson Neal has now checked in the 11th place spot, the only rider behind Cole Richardson. So it does look like issues for the Coltrane. Cody, unfortunately, you are correct. It looks like some problems there. But, yeah, uncharacteristic right now. Bryson Neal finds himself outside the top 10 in the XC1 class. And the only person that I think is going to be stoked about this is probably Hunter Hart and the rest of the XC1 class, because they're like, hey, it's time to take advantage of it.
At this point, tough break for Cole Richardson, though. This was a good race for him. He was right up there in the mix. He's been having some bad luck, and he was one of he's been there all season long. So I hate to see him drop down like that.
So now the Glotta boys up there. James Glotta sitting 10th overall in overall timing. John Glotta Jr. up there in the 8th place spot. So we got a whole Glottas up in the top 10. All right, that's the only time I'll say that one. I had to throw it in there.
I like it. I like it.
They probably like it too. They'd like to hear it a lot more, as both of them were stoked. They've had good performances so far this year, and they're making the most of it right now. But going back to that XC1 class, the Gator, you talked about it. He's confident. We heard it in that interview, and these are not conditions that he doesn't like. He's not, I don't know if he's a fan of them, but he does well in them. So the Gator on the move as well.
That confidence could be what he needed, Zach.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be interesting to see. So things have shaken up. It is Shadron leading the way, and things shaking up in the XC2 class as well. We're going to get another word from our sponsors, and we'll be back. This is the Wiseco, John Penton, GNCC.
GNCC.
Like a bullet into the first turn, the number one with the pink helmet and pink bars. It is Walker Fowler, the 7th.
And a fist pump. You should be proud of yourself, Devin Feehan. What a ride today.
I'm Devin Feehan, and I run GBC.
I'm Josh Merritt, and I run GBC.
I'm Chris Borich, and I run GBC.
The United States Motorcycle Coaching Association has been setting a standard for motorcycle coaching since 2016. Coaching is important for all riders, no matter the age or skill level. The USMCA connects riders with coaches, whether the rider is just starting out on their motorcycling journey, to a competitive amateur racer looking to reach their next milestone, or the professional athlete trying to clinch a title. Download the Motorcycle Coaching app and get connected to a USMCA certified coach today.
How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
OnTrackSchool.com. Check it out.
In the premier form of off-road motorcycle racing in the world, it's the beginning of a new era. 17 Supercross, 11 motocross, and those 3 playoff rounds.
Super Motocross World Championship Final. Tickets on sale now. Visit supermotocross.com.
30-second card is up. We've talked all about it. We've watched practice and qualifying. We've theorized. We've bench raced. Now it is time to go. Race her up. Chase down. Side by side we go. Jet Lawrence, Justin Cooper in front of the crowd. Leader from Chase Sexton. Did anyone else get up in the mix? They have been 1-2 in the last 7 motos of this championship. Here we go. Every race, every day, in every way. Print, social, digital, video, photo. Every race, every day. Every result, every story, every rider, everything. Moto every day with Racer X.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Fan Fest Friday taking place at the Athens Sports Cycles. I'm telling you what, Jackson and I were able to check this out. Yeah, that's right. The man, the myth, the legend, Rodney Tomlin was in the house as well, including majority of the XC1 class. Tons of riders there. Jackson, it was an awesome time.
Yeah, how cool was it to see all the guys out there like that, socializing, signing autographs for everybody. Man, even when they left, everybody left a big handful of signed stuff. Oh, there we are, right there, Zach.
Wow, looking at making our on-camera debut, and I'm not going to lie, I think both of us walked away with a full stack of autograph posters.
Yeah, I definitely did. I had to wait for them to get gone so that they didn't see me fanboying, but
yeah, it was great. There's Zach Osborne. We've got Ben Kelly throwing a little autograph for the fans. I think Craig DeLong was a little jealous of the autograph there. I saw that slight side eye. But no, look at that. Look at that.
Man, that's a kid's dream right there. Come and just get loaded up by each pro.
We were talking with that young man right there. He was a little nervous, and cool to see Josh and Johnny both chatting it up with him. And that's what I mean. These riders, they're down to earth. They're just the average folk. You know what I mean? They're just good old people, and they want to chat it up with the fans. The fans are what makes them able to do it. You get to see. I got to chat with Rodney a little bit on the radio station, talking about what we got going on this weekend, trying to get all the action-packed fans out there. And if you did come out and you braved the rain, I appreciate you. But now back on track, the Yamaha Live Drone, and we're back racing out here at we'll see whether or not things have changed up or not. It was Shadron the last time we saw out front leading the way, McClure sitting in second, and Joshua Merritt rounding out the top three names that we have not said at the top of the field a ton this year. Jackson?
Yeah, it's good to see some fresh faces up there. Things are turning around in this race. Just when you think you know who's going to be up at the front, they change it up on us here for round number 7. So, man, we are off and racing. It has already been such a great day. We've been playing in the mud all day. These guys knew what they were going to be up against. I saw a lot of them out there scouting it out when it was still raining this morning. So,
taking a look at the Method Race Wheels Method Alley. I'm not quite sure if that was our leader that we saw at the first glimpse.
I'm not either.
But getting a good look at the way this soil is starting to break down and change now that the rain has stopped. You see that super hard packed, shiny, beat down, glossy almost dirt. Yeah, there's not a lot of traction there, if you were curious. And traction seeming to be more and more a word we're talking about as this race goes on.
What I'm waiting for is this last lap. I think Cody's right. I think they're going to wait until this last lap to really charge hard, and they're really going to have their work cut out for them. As you can see here, if they go off just a little bit, they're going to be in no man's land. So that last lap is going to be...
But all of our players are out. You know, Cole Richardson, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, they're all kind of out. Hunter's closing in, close to the picture, but, you know, he's still a good ways out. So it's a new group of guys going for the win today.
Exactly.
Shadron going, he got a win several years ago, looking to get another one today. And then Merritt, I don't think has ever even gotten a podium in the XC1 class. So good to see new guys up in the mix.
Yeah, and you know that they're fired up to get it. This will be, if it wasn't a good last lap before, it is definitely going to be now, as these fellas are going to be fired up and ready to get that first win of the season.
Well, and that's what I was just about to say. You know, with that, maybe, obviously they're still in the points. They're battling throughout the entire year, but hey, they're not quite in that points battle. They don't have to think about the points. They don't have to save it quite as much. Do we think maybe we see one of these riders send it just a little extra hard to try to get the win?
It's hard to tell. I think Merritt would. I don't think Merritt has any fear. I think he definitely would, but I think Jay Shad's won a race before, so I think he knows what it takes and would be a little bit calmer in that moment.
Going to be.
And then McClure with several wins in the XC1 class, several podiums, so he's probably the guy to look out for in this group.
Absolutely, and I tell you what I want to look out for is the number 3 of Hunter Hart the next time he comes around. Let's talk about 7 positions I believe he gained just in that last lap, from outside the top 10 all the way to knocking on the door of that top 5 there. So Hunter Hart seeming to have something figured out as well.
5th in XC1, but with Blaine McCormick's adjusted time, he's got him in the overall. But 5th in XC1 class, and so he's just going to start picking his way. I think McCormick, you're going to see it drop to maybe outside of the top 10 with how difficult this track is going to get. But yeah, Hunter Hart on the charge, and with McGill having his renaissance here this year, so see if they can close in on that gap with all the mayhem out there.
Yeah, McGill and Hart trying to take advantage of the situation as well. Bryson Neal, the last time we saw, I'm sure everybody's curious what's up with the number 1 towards the back of the pack there in that XC1 class, sitting just outside the top 10. So Cody, you said you thought it might be some vision issues, something like that, but not the usual Bryson Neal we're quite accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, got a bad start. If you don't got goggles today, it's going to be a long day for you. I'm suffering a little bit right now from it. Lost my goggles last lap and a half, but Not a Bryce Neal ride. Something's got to be going on over there on the number 1 ride.
Cody, was that a little creek I saw that they went through, a little stream maybe? If not, it looks like that is where
yes.
a lot of
Yeah. There's two. You go through the creek twice on this section.
It looked like it was going to cause some mayhem here as they were having a little bit of trouble going through it. Let's see who we got here on screen.
I think this is 2 lap riders here.
Okay.
That corner they just went through, that looked pretty off camber and extremely shiny. Talk about how difficult that is, being in off camber slideways position like that with no traction.
So if you got someone behind you, you want to cover your inside, right? Always cover your inside. But with how that corner is, you're coming down that hill with so much speed, and it's so off cambered and steep, it's going to push you very wide, and you're cutting pretty much 180 degrees to back to your left and going back the other way. So you want to balance your getting traction and being able to be in a spot to make a good cut without coming to a dead stop in the trail. So the slippery conditions are making it super tricky. I was always super far outside, cutting across, just staying in the cushion and limiting my time in the slick stuff.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you see them putting the edges of the wheels in there, just trying to get a little bit of traction. You go too far off in the thick stuff, you're not going anywhere for a while. But right now, whoever these riders are we're following on this Yamaha live drone, they're getting it done as they are making their way around, and it makes it easy for us how shiny the track is because it's easy to figure out where they're going.
Yeah, it looks like some deep ruts beginning to form in those last 2 sections. It's hard to tell from this overview.
Whoever they are, they're doing a good job, and we're covering it right now. And some great racing there. That rider, now is that hanging just outside of the roost zone, or is that I'm pushing the pace and trying to catch up? From what you can see, at least.
That's just outside of the roost zone. And there's a pit.
There we go. One rider pulling off there, grabbing a pit.
My buddy Corey Vandy, looks like. But yeah, he was probably outside of it with the wood sections coming out and was able to really close in that gap in this field. So just kind of hanging in the roost zone.
Man, and getting a look at that, you can see the riders on the gas there. The wheels are spinning, and sometimes they're able to sling that thing around just perfect. Sometimes they go a little too far, and they almost do a full 360.
Oh, yeah, we see a couple times this race. Yeah, the trick is to run a lower tire pressure and lug the motor. I just ran 4 and 3 today, 4 pounds in the front, 3 in the rear. Never want to do that on like a fast track because it just be too soft.
Be just too
and
much.
Here's
that was Merritt
getting hung up.
How about that? Merritt is upset. Gil must have given him the sauce, and Merritt was giving it right back.
Yeah, that was definitely a checkup from the neck up, if you will, because there was some rub in there.
This is my podium.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what progresses with that. There's Hart, refreshed set of goggles. Interested to see if those goggles hang on.
Hanging on by a thread.
No, they'll stick on there. They'll stick on there.
Oh, especially today out here with this mud. I'm sure they will stick on just fine as everything else is.
Yeah, and it looks like that one section, they're almost trying to power slide the back end, and Josh Merritt, taking care of business, said, I'll take care of that pole right there. We know where to go.
So they've all figured out there's a little bit of traction all the way here on the inside, and it's starting to blow out to the outside. So going super wide on the entrance of the corner and cutting down.
That one rider there getting up on the back wheels. Now, we saw the contact made. Cody, in your opinion, how does that work? The kind of the give and take, the checking, if you will. You said that looked like Merritt was returning a favor there.
Yeah, that didn't look like Merritt missed time to break. That looked, giving him a little sauce back. I don't think Merritt would have done that had something else not happened. Depends on who you ask. My opinion, Rubbin's racing. So
there goes Wyatt Wilkin out of the pit there. John Glotta in his pit right now on that 712 machine.
He said I don't even want to deal with the goggles. Not even worth it.
And that's an interesting strategy
call
as well, yeah.
He just knows he's got so much fun on his face. I think that's just him being young and hungry, and a few more mud races, he'll stop for goggles.
How much, if you were to estimate, how much extra time do you think you would spend if you were to properly wipe off the face with paper towels?
Less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why I did just a real quick, do a lap.
And it would be so easy to gain those extra 5 seconds in the big scheme of things.
Kind of one of those in the moments. It seems like, they talk about how every second seems like it's an hour, but I think hindsight is 20/20. And I believe we're going to be looking at Josh Merritt here on this Yamaha live drone coming through this open section, ducking off into the woods. And Josh Merritt showing that he's pushing, he's fighting.
And see how slow they're having to go into the wood line there? That's because it's so slick and it's such a sharp corner to come in on that downhill into the woods. There's just no traction. They can't brake on the downhill. They're having to brake coming into it and just hold corner pace all the way down the hill.
Yeah, it seems like
it's tricky.
You got to be very ginger both on the throttle and the brakes, or traction's gone. You're either going to start sliding or start spinning.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now
finding that balance.
There's a rider right here at the Monster Mile, taking a pit there, grabbing some goggles.
In the middle of the track. Love that.
Hopefully we
watch your ankles.
Yeah.
Pitters.
Yeah, it will be. Let's see. We've got. I believe this might be Merritt here.
Lap rider here.
So hard to tell. It's so hard to tell.
It really is. It really, really is.
And really getting the, like we keep saying, this almost glossy type soil, and then a couple of the roots popping up as well as we start to dig down in the soil. But at this point, as hard packed as it is, I don't think these ruts really are going to get a lot deeper. Bryson Neal in the pits now. We're taking a look on screen, and he does not look to be in a hurry.
I believe that might have been Cole Richardson pulling up behind him there, smoking.
Could have been. They were within close to 10 seconds to each other on the last lap, so.
I do believe that was him pulling in there, looking like he might be having a little bit of issues with the bike.
Yeah, not sure what Neal was doing, too. It looked like he was looking down at the quad. I know they had the goggles there ready to take, but he wasn't putting them on. We know how fluid Neal usually has his pit stops down, and so curious whether or not there's an issue, man, machine, something going on there, but figured we would see the number 1 charging a bit harder.
Yeah, I couldn't see the number on the back of the jersey, and it looked like there was a yellow number sticker there, so I thought that was Grayson Eller refusing the goggles, but I couldn't really get a good enough look.
Yeah, producer telling me we thought it was Neal, so we're going to run it off of that. A good chance. I didn't even think about that. It could have been Grayson Eller as well there in that XC2 class.
Both out of the Phoenix Racing pits.
Absolutely, yeah. And Eller had some strong performances as well. I believe he's possibly battling
for up to 4th,
yeah,
if I remember correctly.
And if that was so, then that might not mean Cole Richardson's having problems in it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely
obviously he's having some kind of problems, but it might not necessarily be bike issues.
When I saw that steam you were talking about as well, something, we've seen a lot of that today, these ATVs getting really hot, but oftentimes it was the mud, it was the water kind of steaming off. I think a little different story here.
Yeah, he was, it's fine if you see a little steam for a while coming out of a wet spot, but like when you're been out in the field for that long and you're still steaming like that, not a great thing going on.
So now taking a look at some of the GNCC staff there, everybody trying to make sure nobody's going to get hurt, nobody's stepping out on track. We're just double checking, make sure everybody's hanging on to their shoes here. But now let's take a look.
Got the Crocs in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, Crocs are in 4-wheel drive. We learned our lesson from that last camera shot. And taking a look at that overall, we saw early in the first lap or two, Steve Harrell, Lane McCormick, several of our other XC2 riders, the brother of John Glada Jr., James Glada, creeping into that top 10 overall as well. But just like you said, Cody, as this race wears on, the XC2 is starting to drop back to the backside of the top 10, even outside.
Yeah, the XC1 guys trying to figure out pace, figure out the track, where it's bad. They had to tiptoe just a little bit that first lap, and the XC2 guys being close to pace, being able to send it.
So that was Adam McGill, immediately followed by Josh Merritt that we just saw come through the Monster Mile there, and that's one worth following right there. That's the contact, that's the battle, and they've closed that back up. Hunter Hart on the outside catching up. We're going to have a 3-rider battle here in just a second, but those top 2, they mean business. We've seen it, and now we're going to try to stick with them.
And is this for the lead?
Yes, it is.
All right. No Shadron, no McClure.
So it is going to be McGill.
So here we go. Yeah, Adam McGill checks in. Josh Merritt less than 2 seconds away. And here we go. The Gators got a hold. The death roll's going. We'll see if he's able to pull it away.
And how about Hunter Hart from 12th to 3rd in 2 laps on a charge?
And he's
within 15 seconds of the lead, it looked like from that last shot.
Yeah, he did not look like he was just going to settle for 3rd. I think he's going to be in the mix for this before it's all said and done. As McGill leads the way, Merritt charging hard behind in 2nd. And a big shout out to Josh Merritt there too. He's right on the rear wheel. No Rousseau concern, anything like that. He's going to work.
Yeah, it was interesting that McGill was able to make it past that quickly in just those couple of miles between the 9 and the 11 from the pit to finish.
And guys, this is a 2-hour race. For anybody that don't know, we are 1 hour and 10 minutes into it now. As you see on the top left of your screen, we're sitting here at the FMF PowerPoint. So we are over the halfway point. This will be the time to make the moves for Hunter Hart if he's going to make them. He has put himself in a great position here.
And it looks like looks like we've lost Hunter Hart in the couple hundred feet, unless his transponder's not working.
Very well, Mike Hood. We've had a lot of issues in this mud here.
We're showing Wyatt Wilkin currently in the 3rd place spot.
About a minute back.
Yeah, about a minute back, and I'm not sure what was going on there. I definitely think Hunter was inside of a minute. And so
within 30 seconds,
yeah,
absolutely.
I was about to say, I do believe Hart is definitely sitting in the 3rd place spot. Not sure whether it was a transponder issue or what. Wyatt Wilkin also
on screen.
There we go, just going up the hill. So Wyatt definitely having a great race there.
So yeah, and then there's Jay Shad right there and John Glauda Jr. battling for 4th and 5th.
So Glauda working his way up. John Glauda Jr. starting to creep up inside that top 5. He was towards the back end of the top 10 early in this as well.
Yeah, and where is the number 1 of Bryson Neal? We all wait with bated breath.
Yeah, we thought we might have seen him there in the pit. Cody pointing out that could have been Grayson Eller as well, but we definitely, one rider taking the reverse, going to try this thing again, wipes the gloves off. Gonna reset.
400 EX, digging.
The pressure's on though. Now he's got the Racer TV camera watching. And you see the difference in momentum carrying there, and I think that's going to do
is everything.
Oh yeah, gets her up the hill. But yeah, to your point, Cody, I don't know what's going on with Bryson Neal. I thought we'd see him creep up with the amount of movement that you're able to see Hunter Hart getting, the amount of passes that are able to be made. I'm just curious what's going on.
So he is working his way forward. He's up to the 8th place spot. 7th place spot in XC1 with Lane McCormick still putting in a great ride, leading that XC2 class in 6th overall.
Yeah, McCormick getting it done there in the XC2, and the battle is on. The Gator leads the way in the XC1. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the Wise Coast, John Penton, GNCC.
Yamaha YZ450F. Narrower, more compact, and lighter. Built to do one thing: go faster. Flexible financing options offered directly through Yamaha are available. See your local Yamaha dealer today.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
Amsoil runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Last season was my best season ever by far. I won a lot of races. I won a championship, and it was also my first year using ARMA. And one of the things I noticed was just my ability to string good days together. You know, like especially in the summertime in Florida, where you're riding every day and the heat index is 108 degrees, and you're doing 230s, then going to the gym and bicycle and all that stuff. I think in the past I've been super inconsistent day to day. Yeah, I may have a good race here or a good day during the week there, but overall, I think where I improved the most was my consistency in my recovery.
GNCC Racing is brought to you by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Round 7 of the 2023 season. We're here at the Wiseco Performance Products. John Penton, GNCC, getting a look at the rain once again. It did fall. It was a little muddy this morning. Siegel pushing everything off there. But we're able to push through. And, hey, a great thing going on, guys. We've got one of our own, Barry Hawk, nominated for the AMA Hall of Fame. You've got to be a lifetime member to vote, so we need your help. Mikey was able to catch up with him.
Check.
I'm here with legendary Barry Hawk. The reason we're talking with Barry, it should be obvious to many of you, but if you did not know, Barry Hawk has been nominated for the AMA Hall of Fame. Barry, we know why you've been nominated. The only guy in GNCC history to have an overall championship on the ATV side and an overall championship on the bike side. That's really just the tip of the iceberg, Barry. Tell us a little bit about the nomination. I mean, what goes through your head when something like that comes about?
Well, my first thought is it's really cool. I never expected it. I never set out to be like, man, I want to be a Hall of Famer. I just wanted to be the fastest guy racing the GNCC, and here it is 30 whatever years later, and yeah, I'm nominated. It's really cool. The other thought, this is, I guess, aging myself, but the other thought is to be nominated for the Hall of Fame. Of course, I guess you got to have a lot of credibility, have a lot of good results. But the other thing is, you're probably pretty old.
Maybe.
So that's the other thing. I mean, I know it's kind of a weird thing, but that's honestly a thought that goes through my head. But I mean, all in all, yeah, to be nominated, it's really cool. We'll see how things turn out, but it's been a fun ride up to this point.
Obviously, you even after retirement from a pro rider standpoint, you're here. We fast forward 30 years. We're at the racetrack right now, and Barry Hawk, you're still here. You are the team manager for the Coastal Racing Factory Gas team. So you never stopped. Racing is in your blood. Tell us about that role.
Yeah, so this opportunity came up in 2016, and we were actually a support team for Husqvarna, and luckily had a lot of people in my corner, and I was the team manager for that team, for the Coastal Husqvarna team, for several years. And then whenever KTM acquired Gas, it was a perfect opportunity for us to be the factory gas team, and we had all the infrastructure there. Everything was lined up, and this is my 3rd year being the factory gas, but my 8th year being the team manager of this team. So it's very rewarding when the guys do good, but it's also frustrating when things aren't going good.
That's true.
And I can't get out there and ride the bikes for the guys, but I still like being part of it. And I can't do it anymore, but if I can help them, whether it's my support guys or my factory guys, if I can help them achieve their goal of winning races and championships, then that's it's satisfying for me. So here it is, 30 years later. I'm still involved with the sport. I love it, and I've done several other things in my life, but I'll always be around this thing, for this GNCC for sure.
If you are a lifetime member of the AMA, vote for Barry Hawk. It's that simple. We're going to post a bunch of information about it, how you can do that, but we want to see one of our own, and I can't think of a more deserving rider, manager, and father, husband. The categories are long.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and it's anybody who wants to take their time. I know actually, I've done it. I voted for myself. Of course you got to do it, but I was expecting it to be a lot more painful, but it honestly wasn't. It was a really easy process to go and do it.
There you go, Barry Hawk, future Hall of Famer.
I love to see it. How about that? Barry's such a cool guy. Jackson and I, we both got to go over and talk to him. And, we were the new guys, and he was just as welcoming as could be. And speak of welcoming, we welcome Mikey Waynes into the truck here. Mikey, talk about that, man. Just so cool and so humble.
A very cool interview, and really that was a snippet. The original thing was, I said, how long do we have with Barry? He said, give me like 2 minutes. We ended up sitting there and talking for 15. So Adam, I think, is going to work on a little bit of a longer one that hopefully we can get out maybe on YouTube, something like that. But just class act, just a great ambassador for motorcycle and ATV racing. And we didn't get to see it right there as we were watching an incredible race unfold. There is Adam McGill right there charging. Josh Merritt, still his shadow. This one's getting good. But to summarize that, Barry's so deserving. He is GNCC to the core, and to hear him talk about who he's raced off-road, he's qualified for Pro Motocross Outdoors at High Point, ATVMX. The man is just made for racing. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I told him, I know you're not a politicking guy, Barry. I'm going to do it for you. So there you go. Vote for the man. Get him in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely worth taking the time to do it. And we, on screen, taking a look at the battle for the lead. The Gator out front leading the way. Josh Merritt just behind. And I wasn't quite sure. Was there a rider that had worked their way in between? Was that a lap rider?
I don't believe so. I believe it went McGill and then Merritt.
We're still showing Wilkin as third at the moment. We do believe, we thought we saw Hunter Hart in there as well. Actually, I'm trying to find Hart at all on the XC1 list.
Well, that's a good point, because Hunter was in that mix.
Yeah, I think it might be a transponder issue or something like that, because we're currently showing him 11th there in XC1, but I believe he was up higher than that, but also something could have happened.
That's true.
It can happen to snap of a finger.
I got to say, McGill leading this. He's coming off a second place finish. First of all, what year is this? Incredible. I'm so stoked for him. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. A lot of racing left for Adam McGill, but we're at a historical site. This is the longest running location we have on the schedule. We've been coming here, I believe, since 1990. Someone out there could correct me on that if I'm wrong, but regardless, been here over 30 years and a historical site, and we got some GNCC history. You got the old wily veteran of Adam McGill looking for what I think would be his 19th career overall win. And then you've got Merritt, would be his first podium. And then you got Wyatt Wilkin, his first podium, and another box checked off the rookies list. I mean, I know we're only halfway through the season. We don't really do a Rookie of the Year at GNCC necessarily. This man's Rookie of the Year in my eyes.
Well, and question for you, Johnny. I believe, did I hear somewhere that Wilkin did like the last couple of rounds? Has he been here in XC1 yet before, or this is first time in XC1?
First season, I believe it was Iron Man at the end of last season. He did run the pro race. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd locked up. He couldn't really do any better in XC2, so he said, "Hey, I'm jumping up next year," and you guys will see that when we get into what we call silly season. You'll see some riders jump up into the XC1 race to try their hand at it.
Well, and oh wow, just getting the word here. Producer Adam telling us Hunter Hart, that is correct from what we're seeing. Hunter Hart has broken down, and it looks like that is correct scoring there in the 11th place spot. So, wow, such a tough break for him. Yeah, that's got to be difficult.
Yeah, frustrating for Hunter. Spoke with him before the race, and he was very excited about conditions today. This is kind of his bread and butter for him to go out there and thrive. So we're going to try and get a word in maybe. I think Zach going to head down to Hunter Hart's pits. Maybe throw it. He's going to try and get Hunter Hart, try to get a word in with him down at his pit, see if we can get the scoop on that. But nonetheless, hey, Jackson, it's a heartbreaker for Hunter Hart.
Yeah, that's definitely a heartbreaker for Hunter Hart, but man, that opens a big door for everybody else with Hunter just creeping up there into that third spot. I think we might see a completely different podium than we saw all year.
Interesting point. I mean, let's talk about the front runners. Obviously, Bryson Neal with some troubles today. We're not sure the extent of that, but struggling, albeit there is our leader. Adam McGill charging, and as that was still Merritt behind him. Splish splash, and back to work goes Merritt. No pros got in there in between them, I don't believe, unless we missed them in that camera shot. So McGill now with a little bit of breathing room. Cody Collier joining us back in the booth. Cody, Adam McGill's winning a race right now.
I love it. Throwback. Yeah, no, this is Adam McGill's. This is his original first ever podium, and he did it from the X2 class. I think back in 07. He first started racing the series. So no, this is a track he knows and loves, and I think he always does very well here.
Yeah, you're right. I remember my first year specifically. Adam was one of the pros that I had gotten to know prior to. There's Wyatt.
I don't believe, and then Junior.
There is Lotta.
I don't. Yeah, it's a lap rider right there. So Junior up to fourth, going to give Woken a run for that podium. No Jay Shad.
I was going to say, did we miss Shad Ron? But
no Jay Shad from what I could see.
Glotta not taking the goggles the lap before, not taking the water bottle this lap. He is on the move.
He's gritty.
I thought Cody Collier's eyes were bloodshot when he came in here. Glotta's probably going to have you beat at the end.
Yeah, he's going to be about swollen shut.
Oh.
Yeah, there's Jay Shad on screen right now, blowing some smoke out of the number 6 out of Jay Shad.
So it sounds like we just got reports Chris Borich also broken down and heading to the pits, and as you just pointed out, Jay Shad smoking.
And blue smoke's no good.
Blue smoke's no good. When it's really no good is when you stop seeing it, though.
Yeah.
Then you got problems.
Yeah, there's nothing left to smoke. Yeah, no good. If Jay Shad finishes this lap, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, so he might be. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Your machine starts smoking. It's that blue smoke that you fear. Do you just try to keep nursing that thing? Hey, I don't want to push this machine over the edge. I'm trying to limp it.
Yeah, so either you didn't mud prep enough and didn't give that radiator clear enough protection, or you're just overriding the machine, creating too much heat. The only thing that's going to do that is if you're creating too much heat, over-revving the bike, using too much clutch. So
get me to the pits.
You got to calm down. Here's Bryson Neal on screen now, picking his way through the pack. So I think he's up to the 5th or 6th place spot.
Man, he might.
He's picking away at it. But yeah, it's as simple as don't create heat in the bike, don't over-rev, don't clutch, and if your radiator's not just completely packed full, nothing you can do can help at that point.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys have great prep, so it's just easy on the bike. To finish first, you must first finish.
There you go. I like that. Bryson Neal on the move. We are an hour and a half in it. I don't know that we've gotten reports of what we're running as far as laps. 5-lap race is what we've got. Okay. All right. So it's going to be tough, one, for Jay Shad to keep that machine together in one piece. And now you have I say slow, and I use that with air quotes because we're talking about Bryson Neal, and I don't think it's in his vocabulary. But given the conditions, a slow, methodical Bryson Neal moving up through the pack right now. And if it's going to be 5 laps, the man's going to be knocking on the door, if things stay the way they are, of at least a podium, I think.
I mean, Glaude has been riding so strong this year, and I think Wilkin will be able to hang toe with them. So Glaude is paced with Wilkin, being able to hang toe. I think it'll be tough for Neil. But let's see how far back they are off the leaders, and anything can happen out there. The leaders can get stuck in a bottleneck for a minute, coming around any corner out there.
Well, the 521 Gator out of West Virginia, looking to grab a win here in 2023, would be his 19th career win. We still got a ways to go yet, but what a ride by Adam McGill. And we're waiting here at with the Yamaha live drone, waiting on those leaders. Adam McGill with a little bit of breathing room as Merritt checked into the pits. As Merritt checked into the pit for a splash of fuel, Adam McGill kept on rolling, so should have a pretty good lead on him right now, at least for a moment.
I'm interested to see where McCormick's coming in from the XC2 class, see where he sits in the overall, see if he's able to stay strong or how that class is going to shake up.
And we mentioned earlier that, we thought Adam McGill might have the confidence that he needs. What do you think, Mikey? Do you think this is, or do you think it's just a mud race?
I think it's a combination of a few things. One, McGill, there is Merritt.
I might have missed McGill.
I think we did. The screen got a little blurry, and I thought it might have been McGill when it did.
I thought it was a lapper. I couldn't tell.
But yeah, a few things. One, as Cody said, historically, Adam McGill seems to do really well here at the Penton. I know my first year, 2017, he had a podium that year, maybe even a win. We're getting closer into the stuff McGill likes. He had to change some things up in the off-season. He found out he had Lyme disease. He had to change the diet. He's not quite the party animal he was. He still can. He's not as good as he once was, but he's as good as he'll ever be, okay? And I can say that because, Adam, you're my buddy, and I'm in the same boat. Different things we're good at, though. It's for sure. I'm not jumping on the Honda and going out and doing what he's doing right now. But, I think there's just a number of things that are contributing to that man right there, Adam McGill, being in the lead.
Lapper pulling out right in front of him, I do believe.
At least they're going into an open section, not a single line section.
Exactly. Exactly.
So just waiting on second place. I think they were close. Josh Merritt, there he is.
There he is.
There.
So, not a huge gap. I mean, the gap is there.
That's one lapper.
I was going to say, if McGill gets hung up by those two, it looked like a couple of guys right in front of him, some lap traffic. If he gets hung up too long behind them.
But McGill's at a nice spot where he can split by the lapper. The lapper's not going to wait on Merritt.
Good point.
So Merritt is going to have to do the passing on his own, and just hopefully he splits one right.
Yep.
So he's going to make up the gap right now.
I'm interested to see what Neil is going to do when he comes around, and I have to wonder if he is catching up. Whatever has hindered him this far in the race, is it going to hinder him towards this end lap here?
McGill in, lap 4 complete, white flags out, and Josh Merritt, as you folks watching on RacerTV.com just saw, checks in the number 2 spot. Timing and scoring, you see it on Racer TV. 16.805 is the gap. 1 lap to go. Is Adam McGill 22 minutes away from a win? Josh Merritt, is he 22 minutes away from his first podium? Wyatt Wilkin, his first podium. History in the making here at the John Penton GNCC. And you are watching it unfold, baby. This is good.
And I feel like if anybody knows what to do in this position, it'll be a veteran like McGill. Sees that white flag, he knows he's just going to make it one more lap, and I feel like he'll push just as hard as anybody would.
You want to talk about confidence?
Right.
I get leading on the white flag.
You know,
in sight.
Here's the other side of this. Adam McGill currently sits 4th in points. The men in front of him, Cole Richardson, Hunter Hart, Bryson Neal, all 3 of those guys. Now, we don't know where Neal is going to end up, but Cole, not having a good day. Hunter Hart, obviously not having a good day, not going to come away with any points today. This could be a huge points day for Adam McGill.
Yeah, put him even more in the talk for the podium positions, or even for the win this year.
Yeah.
Things keep going this way. I don't think you can count anyone in that top 5 out the way the points are going.
Yeah, so Adam McGill sitting with 105 points going in today. John Glaude Jr. is right behind him with 103, but in front of him is Cole Richardson with 121 points, then 145 for Hunter Hart, and Bryson Neal with 151.
Interesting.
So things are going to shake up for sure after this one.
White Wilkin on screen there.
You know, the other thing is, of your top 3, McGill, Merritt, Wilkin. We know Neal is charging. Now, he's got to get around We believe. Well, let's take a look. We got him on 8 on Racer TV. Is that still the case? Loading. Well, we're still waiting. Boy, big gaps between third and the rest of the pack.
Where'd Glauda go? Wilkins checked in a minute ago. Glauda was on Wilkin going through the pit, the 9, and we're 30 or so seconds out from Wilkin checking in. There's still no John Glauda Jr.
Yeah, no Glauda. We saw Shadron was having some issues, some
blue smoke
issues. So, we didn't expect to see him right away. There is Chris Borich
talking to Matt Pierce.
Yep. And left to spectate the rest of the day. By the way, shout out to Chris Borich, who raced the Hoosier with broken ribs.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He said multiple times, I thought I'm going to pull off, and no, I didn't. I hung on, and I saw the checkered flag. That man is a true former champion.
Bryson Neal on screen there, going up the hill.
Clawing his way up to a 4th place position. Got around John Glauda Jr. there that last lap. Not sure what happened to him, but he's not out of a podium spot yet.
Glauda.
Not on this track.
So if we're looking at timing and scoring, you got a minute between Wilkin and Merritt. You got another minute 13 between Neal and Wilkin. It's going to be tough. Don't mess it up. What's going through your head?
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. There you go.
That might be your first podium. That can't be what you're thinking about. You just got to be thinking about
Don't think about that.
Yeah, just eyes forward. Just keep doing what you've been doing all race. It got you in this spot. Don't start doing something else. Don't fix what's broken.
And then if you look at it, if you don't look at timing and scoring, we were talking off air, Neal back in the 4th spot. Now he's a minute 13 back. I refuse to question his capabilities. That's a pretty big, given the race conditions, that's a pretty big gap for him to overcome, yeah?
Yeah, like we were talking about off air, with this is the 5th lap they're going into now, right? Mm-hmm. First couple laps it was mayhem, pandemonium, whatever you want to call it. That's because they didn't know what to expect, how bad the track was in sections. This is lap 5. They've done a few laps. The race line's kind of set in. They know what's going on. They know what to expect. So a wily veteran like Adam McGill, I expect to know his lines, know what to expect, and hit his marks, and come home with the win with the gap he's got, unless, a lap or unexpected bottleneck blows up. Merritt's putting in a great ride, though. Really doubting the haters, shushing the haters.
There you go.
And then Wilkin was coming in with his possibly first podium after running 3rd there at Hoosier last weekend, putting on a very, very good ride. Passed Hunter Hart back for the 3rd place position, the points leader at the time, and just one mistake away from a podium that weekend. Blew off his front plastics. He hit a tree so hard sending it, and look at the great things out of the young gun, like we're Zach was saying earlier. Check that mark off the box. Get podium your first year in the XC1 class, and but Bryson Neal is going to keep him honest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're the rookie out there, you're looking at your first podium. I'd say the one guy you don't want behind you is probably the #1 Phoenix Racing Yamaha, Bryson Neal. But hey, is what it is. Go out and earn it, Wyatt Wilkin. Go get it done. Want to show some love to the XC2 guys. There's 3 of them in the top 10. Steve Harrell, Grayson Eller, and James Glauda. That's Junkin James. They call him Jimbo. He's got like 1,000 names. I love it. Sitting in the #9 spot in the overall. They are 1, 2, and 3 in the XC2. Cody, you made a good point. I said, well, it's like less than 3-second gap between, and you said, yeah, that's just out of the roost in a day like today.
Yep. They're the Harrow's not really pulling on Eller. They're not pulling on Glauda, and they're just right there, just hanging out of that roost zone.
So good one going down there. We'll see how it shakes down here. Again, watching mile marker number 7, your Method Race Wheels Method Alley. And waiting on some history to maybe be made today.
And shout out to our top amateur overall right now, Alex Elioff out of the Junior A class, running 12th overall.
And here we have a leader on the screen. That's Adam McGill.
That looks like a Josh Merritt, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Within 5 seconds. We got a race. We got a race, boys.
We do have a race. So Adam McGill, hey, he's a veteran rider. He should be able to answer to the pressure. I think right now all pressure's on Josh Merritt. Josh Merritt.
I mean, we've seen how aggressive they got at Pitt on lap 2 or 3. Yeah. This is for the win.
Merritt's hungry.
There's going to be fireworks.
He said, okay, a podium would be great. You know what would be better? A win.
Yeah, he's there. Why not? Send it. Yeah, absolutely.
My goodness. All right, 6:21 Wyatt Wilkins, who we're looking for here.
There's Josh Merritt and Adam McGill on screen right now.
Okay, here we go. Good.
Josh Merritt with the white on his back, number 11.
Adam McGill out in front, watching the battle unfold here. RacerTV.com, Yamaha live drone, and it's mano-a-mano right now between Adam McGill and Josh Merritt. McGill is your rider at the top of the screen, leading the way on the Honda. I'm going to try and bring this thing home here at the John Penton. And I know we've been talking it up as almost like a surprise, but not really. When you've seen how McGill's rode this year, when you see the changes he made in the program, how serious he's taken it, I don't know that this is too far of a stretch to say it's a surprise.
I'm surprised there's no Hart and Neal in the mix. Like I
there you go.
I expect him to go up in the podium battle, but this is just a different picture than what we expected to see today. Got Merritt and Woken, both never had a podium running 2 and 3. And then Neal had to come up through the pack, Hart with mechanical, Richardson with mechanical. So it's just a different group, and it's awesome to see them young guys step up to the occasion.
I gotta think. Go ahead, Jackson.
Go ahead.
We're up north. We go to Indiana. Adam McGill pulls off a second place. We go over a state, southeastern Ohio. Okay, Adam McGill maybe pulls out a win. Josh Merritt might have something to say about that as we're watching that battle unfold. I don't have to tell anybody where we're heading. We're heading, we've got the Mason-Dixon, and then we're heading to some place called Snowshoe. And things are really falling in line for Adam McGill. And speaking of a monumental, legendary race day, we welcome in the booth the Rodney Tomlin. Rodney, how are you, dude?
Man, I am enjoying GNCC like I don't think I've ever enjoyed GNCC. I've been out like at the 4.5 mile marker. What do we got going on here?
Oh, Rodney, we are watching the battle for the lead right now. It is Adam McGill out in front, Josh Merritt in the 2 spot.
Looking for his first ever podium and potentially win here.
I tell you, that's what I'm saying. This day, I'm enjoying GNCC from a different perspective, and being out there on that course in several different places. They've shortened the course up in some areas out there, obviously taking some out, but what they've got out here and what they have left in has certainly left the race fan a lot to feast on, because Adam McGill, the Gator, out front like you guys are saying, but this right here is pretty incredible as well. What's going on with Josh Merritt, Wyatt Wilkin? I mean, these are things that you could have never guessed. I mean, if you would have said this is what I expect it to be, no one could have ever guessed this. The only way you're going to get this is if you just pull it randomly out of a hat. I mean, that's what that looks like has happened out here today.
Here we go. Leaders coming through the world's largest chicane. We're here for it. Rodney, what has been your perspective? You get to you can be biased now, Rodney. You don't have to play politics. What's been your observations today?
Well, today, obviously, I mean, this is typical John Penton stuff, and with the time that it took to get this race started, nearly 2 hours, you have to wonder. I mean, it was. I said, in recent history, at least, I don't ever recall it being that long.
There's that many stuck riders out there.
Absolutely.
That's all that is.
As a matter of fact, I told Rodney when I first saw him, I said, Rodney, today was the first day this season I have thought to myself, man, I wish Rodney was doing these starts, and I was chilling in the TV booth waiting.
Well, this is the first day that I can say I'm glad that I wasn't out there. I've been watching you on TV. Actually, I was here inside the gate soon enough that I could have probably been over there to help you, but I was like, I'm not walking all the way back there in all this mud.
Let him struggle. I've had to struggle. Let him struggle.
But 30 seconds is what I was hearing when I was out in the pits there a little bit ago, and to see that Merritt has now shaved that down to 16, almost just under 17 seconds right now, and likely when we're seeing it visually on the racetrack, it is definitely tighter than that, and we're looking at what we're on our last lap.
This is coming to the finish. That was at the 9 mile marker where we last seen him. This is at like the 11, only like a quarter mile from the finish. They're coming in to finish.
See,
this is it.
When you're having fun, the time flies. because I didn't realize that we were this far into it even, and this is pretty exciting. One of the things that impressed me too, I'm watching to see what happens with Neil here. Will he be able to bridge that gap of about 40 seconds or so up to the number 3 spot? And that'll be exciting to see as well, because he needs those points probably more than anybody. One thing that he got, I know you guys know this, Hunter Hart out.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Yeah. And Cole Richardson out, second and third in points out.
Wow, that's just crazy, but definitely depleted. Hunter Hart, I believe they're thinking maybe a cracked piston or something along those lines. They're saying they didn't see any smoke. It wasn't. He didn't think that it overheated. They just don't know what happened out there to that machine today.
That's Blake McCormick, you said?
No, that was Hunter Hart.
Hunter Hart.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, you look at this, big winners today. Obviously, Adam McGill could be a big winner. Could be a huge point swing for him. He sits 4th in the points right now. And then Bryson Neal, well, on a normal day, B. Neal would be like, 4th, not good. Not good.
Right.
Today, he might say, I'll take it. This was gnarly. I'm not mad. And the 2 guys I'm most concerned about had a worse day than me, and I'll take that.
Yeah,
that's a win.
It's just free points. The better he can do it, the more free points he can get. But he's just, nothing wrong with settling today.
And it blows my mind. It suddenly propels Adam McGill in the conversation of a contender now. You know, you got to put some things together for sure. But and Josh Merritt, my hat's off to him. Rodney, you can attest to this as well. Coming into the season of 2022, Josh Merritt was very high on himself. A lot of people around Merritt were very high on him, saying he's going to be a top 5 guy this year. It never really came to fruition for him in 2022. He kind of fell back. He would fade. This year has been different. He has been knocking on the door of those podiums.
And, you know, I have to admit, I am one of those that kind of expected that he was going to be more of a consistent top 5 rider in the 2022 season last year. And not saying that I was disappointed in him. I was disappointed in the fact that it didn't happen. But, you know, fast forward a year later now and look at the things going on, and these are the kind of rides, once you get up in here, and you know this, Cody Collier, once you get up into these positions, you get a taste of that. That's something that you want more of.
Yeah, you just get comfortable up there, comfortable running that pace, and it's somewhere you just feel like you deserve to be and need to be. Start putting yourself in that situation.
Course conditions are actually starting to get pretty good, all things considered, in some of the areas that I was in. And not only that, there are some of those areas that are probably just as bad as they were earlier today also. I mean, that's just typical John Penton for you, as we're waiting here at the Monster Mile, an hour and 54 minutes into this one. It was almost, we should have been done with this one almost 2 hours ago in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about all the sea riders stuck out there. It was only so many tow hooks out here at GNCC today.
You know, just navigating the pits here at the Penton has had its challenges, but I'll say well worth it. I think everybody that leaves here, you know, we met the challenge, but we'll say it was all worth it when it's all over.
Amen. Well, hey, if you're wondering, Adam McGill a little late, 20 seconds off that pace.
Wow.
From lap number 4. Does that open the window of opportunity for Josh Merritt? Is it going to be the 5:21 or is it going to be the 11?
It answers a lot of questions of how quick, why that gap maybe shrunk quite a bit too. You know, whenever you start looking at the big picture, McGill losing time, maybe Merritt gaining a little bit of time at the same time. They all coming together in fruition at the same time as they head toward the finish line, which could culminate into a very historical moment on a couple different levels here today, guys.
Boy, we saw a similar situation, 2-wheel side. Okay, there is McGill. Okay, so there's McGill. Let's see, is Merritt behind him? I can't think we missed Merritt.
It's too big of a gap now.
It is. Oh yeah, this is, and boy, he's still pushing. Still pushing.
Ain't over till it's over, but that's unless something happens, McGill, he's got it. But no, great ride for both them guys.
And absolutely, you know, it may not be the #1 spot, but it's almost as good as a win for Josh Merritt to be able to pull this off today, I'm quite sure. And McGill, Adam McGill, rounding the final turn here at the Whitesco John Penton GNCC. He is your round number 7 winner.
I was going to say, Rodney, bring us home. I didn't even have to.
Well, you looked at me, and
I was looking at Rodney pointing like, let's see if he's the old.
And how about it for this guy right here, Josh Merritt, making his own history here today, finishing up 2nd place aboard that number 11 machine. Again, a year late as to being where he wanted to be, but he finally strikes gold here. And folks, I'm going to say, hang on. We could see a little bit more of this in the future.
Absolutely. As we wait on that third place, the last podium spot to be filled. But yeah, we've been expecting this from Josh Merritt to be in these battles for a long time, and able to capitalize here today in the Ohio mud. Home race for him.
Home race for me too. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be out here. Thank you guys for giving me this chance. And let's see, we got
no way.
Bryson Neal able to do it. He pulls it off, I believe.
There's a battle for it.
Oh, there is a battle for it.
We got guys in our ears telling us that there's a battle for that third place.
Oh, I got you. Look at that. Oh, at the last camera shot. So
okay,
we haven't made it to the finish line yet with Bryson Neal. What's going on? So at the last camera shot leading into the finish line, look at that. Crown Royal, baby. Taking, hey, man, he's
work hard, party hard.
That's it.
I don't even think he drank it. I'm calling him out. That was fake, Adam McGill.
Rewind that. Let's see if there were any bubbles coming out of that thing.
Save me some. I'm off in about a half an hour.
Alrighty, so as we check the scoring, timing and scoring, Bryson Neal has checked in the number 3 spot, 1 minute and 10 seconds back. But man, what a monumental day for him, coming from way outside the top 10 back into a podium spot.
Yeah, well, I must have snuck by Woken out there somewhere. Woken finished in less than a second off of Neal. Almost had that podium today.
You know, wins are sweet. But there are times in your career when they're sweet. I imagine the first wins are always sweet, but when you get this far advanced in your career, wins like these days right here have to be maybe just a little bit sweeter.
You know, we said it last weekend, Rodney, or last race at the Hoosier. Adam McGill took a second. We said, I don't care if you love Adam McGill, you hate Adam McGill. When the old guy, and I can say that because he's right just under my age, gets a podium or gets a race win, if you don't like that, you just don't like racing.
Absolutely.
This is what GNCC is all about right here. That is awesome. Jackson Burrell stands by with the Gator, Adam McGill.
All right, guys, I am here with your overall winner for the first time this season, Adam McGill. Adam, man, take me through today. Take me through your race.
Dude, it was chaos. We didn't have the greatest of starts, and we got out there in some of them bottoms down there, and man, these 22-inch overbore advents, I had no issues. Just them guys were all going around with a small tire, and I was like, hey, I've been watching Monsters Game. Watch a grade digger get over this shit. And just buried it down in there, and that thing just tractored through everything. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hold it together. We got there towards the last lap, down over there behind where the start was, and there was a guy spun sideways, bike shut off. I ended up having to get on my bike, get him turned around, get him off the track, and was able to get by, and Josh caught me again, and man, I was just praying. I was praying to, 4-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus. I was like, let's hold it on to the end, and we did. And, man, I feel like a real butthead. I told my wife to stay home. It was really nasty. No one gonna be worth coming. And I'll buy you some bags of dirt, Haley. I love you. And that's it. That's all I got, man. I'm gonna go home and buy some dirt, I guess.
Well, Adam, good job, man. I do gotta ask you, what is the plan moving forward from here?
Well, they don't have an XC half class or a pro vet, so I guess we'll just we'll carry the momentum going into the next round. But I can promise you this: whatever happens in the next round doesn't mean shit. I want that mountain back. That's my mountain.
Hey,
all right, everybody, your overall winner, Adam McGill.
And the groundwork is being laid for just exactly that to take place right now. And you know what's funny? In the pre-race today, we talked to Adam leading into this day. He turned around, he looked at the mud, and he said, see you guys in 2 hours. And of course, as we get set to head down to the podium in just a few moments, this right here, it feels good to be here because on a lot of different levels. Not only am I an Ohioan here in Ohio at the John Penton GNCC, but a fellow Ohioan, Josh Merritt, has just captured his own history here today and GNCC history with his first ever GNCC podium at second place, man.
I don't know about long overdue, maybe a little overdue. Put it that way, a little overdue. Not long overdue, but nonetheless, it's got to be a sweet, sweet feeling for Josh Merritt. You know how much, if you've talked to him in the last couple of years, you know how important this is to him to get on the box. Today, he finally makes it happen. And as you said, Rodney, to get on the podium, to get a win is pretty cool. To do it in your home state, even sweeter. And Zach Herron stands by with the man right now.
Guys, I am telling you what, Josh, there's nothing like that first one. Man, you've done it. You're a podium finisher. How's it feel?
It's great, man. I don't know. It feels great.
just racing out there with those guys, battling with Adam at the end, Jared at the beginning, Jay out there. It was so gnarly. The track was actually a lot of fun. I wish we could do a couple more laps. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Adam caught a lapper on the last lap, and we sat for, it felt like an hour, and we pushed his bike out of the way. We kept going. I'm like, let's go, Adam, let's go. We got to go. I didn't care. He pulled away. I'm like, I just got to make it to the finish line. I just wanted to get here and get this first podium. It feels amazing. Everybody behind me, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Man, we've known you've had the speed. We've been talking about it for even beyond the 23 season. What's it like? What do you think what was it that finally put all the pieces together? What got you up here?
Man, just having the full program underneath me, Action Off-Road GBC, BNR, I mean, that start was fantastic. Mark Nogman prepped my bike. It was perfect. I'm so glad it finished.
Josh Merritt, now not somebody we think can do it, somebody that's done it. He's a podium finisher here.
Oh, man, stoked for Josh Merritt. He was struggling to find words there, Rodney. That's how much it meant to him because he's in his feels about it, rightfully so.
Absolutely. I mean, it was almost he was almost giddy in a way, you know. I find that I love that, you know. I mean, that's genuine right there. Yeah. And like you say, that's what GNCC racing is all about. And it is. I mean, those moments, those feelings, and being able to be a part of it, even if it's not you, if you get to see that, I mean, it's special.
And the guy coming up next, the #1, the Bidwell Bullet, another man from Ohio. Not getting a win today, and maybe under normal circumstance, Bryson Neal says, we didn't really do that well today. I got to think he's feeling really good about today's race that wasn't going his way, but he found a way to charge late and still keep that machine on the box. You win your championships on your bad days, and gets a kiss from a girlfriend. Jackson stands by with Bryson Neal, the Bidwell Bullet. There you go. Smack his. There you go. Get him.
All right, guys, I'm here with the third place, Bryson Neal. Neal, how did you make it up into that position, and what all happened today? Take us through your race.
Oh, this was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Me and Adam, we was having a conversation before the race, and we was talking big tires or no tires, and Adam, he said, I'm going with big tires. I think I'm gonna stay tiny. And I said, okay, well, let's see what pays off. The big tires, they went out today. I tell you what, that track got way deeper, way gnarlier than I thought it would. 3 times people got stuck in front of me. You know, I was able to keep going all day, but I was just in the wrong spot, wrong time a few times, and people just buried it right in front of me. We was in, you know, knee-deep ruts, nowhere to go. Had to muscle the bike out sideways, try to get out, you know. Every time that I came up on a big group of guys, it was just a blob. You know, you're just barely able to see out the vision. There's people going everywhere. Every lap there's a new tough spot on the track, and I just kept on seeing pink stuff on the back of the helmets for our class, and seeing glimpses of the jerseys of the people we're racing against, and just kept on clicking off one by one, and man, I'm super pumped to grab this third place today. This is awesome.
All right, guys, that is your third place overall, Bryson Neal.
All right, Jackson. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Wow. This is an amazing podium today, guys. I mean, Bryson Neal, again, third. This was the one thing that he was needing to do. And sorry to step on your toes there, Mikey. But
oh, you're not.
One thing, and I know this guy right here means a lot in your world. Wyatt Wilkin.
Yeah.
I know I'm out of Hillsboro, but he does a lot of racing over in that Indiana area. And what he was able to pull off today with that fourth place was none less than impressive, that's for sure.
Third was his. Wyatt knows that. He got passed by some guy named Bryson Neal. That's a pretty good day.
Well, they call that guy a bullet. So.
But if you're Wyatt Wilkin, I saw him, a kid clearly said, did you make the podium or did you make third? He said, no, I got fourth. A little disappointment. Wyatt Wilkin, you're young, you're hungry. It's going to happen probably sooner rather than later. There is your top 10. The Gator, Adam McGill, picking up a win. Let's highlight, those XC2 guys. Steve Harrell with a first in the class. Junkin James, Jimbo taking a second in XC2, 8th in the OA, and Grayson Eller grabbing a 10th. in the overall third in class. Solid day.
Absolutely, man. Got to tip your hat to some of these XC2 riders. They're really, again, showing their hat. And on a day like today, that's very impressive.
Yeah. It was a gnarly one. It was a late one as well. We got a late start today, but boy, it didn't disappoint. So if you stay tuned with us on Racer TV, for that, we thank you. Got to thank everybody who helps make it happen. Jackson Burrell, Zach Herron, Cody Collier, the Rodney Tomlin. Thanks for joining us in the booth today, Rodney.
My pleasure.
Our camera operators, Buford, Adam, Matt, Josh, and John. Our drone pilot, Gabe Scholl. Our spotter, very vital to us today. Thank you, David Hollywood. Our EIC, Jordan McFadden. Our director, Dylan Acord. Our producer, Adam Gordon. And, of course, our executive producer, Miss Carrie Jo Russell. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.